Special effects wizard Stan Winston created some characters for the summer hit, and Dennis Michael has the story.
To a special effects master like Stan Winston, nothing is impossible, but some jobs are a little tougher than others. Winston helped design Danny DeVito's daily 3.5-hour makeup job to become the Penguin, no small assignment, but he also had to create several other penguins, these from scratch.
Tim came to me and said, you know, we've got a problem here. Do you think we can do this? The character of the Penguin has an army of penguins in the movie, and the fact is we have found out that penguins don't act, or they don't take direction. They're birds. They're wonderful birds, so you fall in love with them, but they don't do what you tell them to do.
So amid the army of various breeds of live penguins in Batman Returns, there are some robot ringers.
To actually have a real penguin standing next to an animatronic penguin, and for you as an audience not to know the difference, is quite a challenge.
But Stan Winston is no stranger to challenge. Winston has created a rogues gallery of creatures, the endoskeletal Terminators, the various vectors of the biomechanoid aliens, the odd predator or two, even Edward Scissorhands' personal trademark.
This is the most incredible media for magic, the filmmaking industry, that there is. We can do anything. If a person can imagine it, we can make it happen. And we'll continue to do it as long as somebody has enough guts to imagine something that nobody's ever seen before.
Currently, the someone with the necessary courage is Steven Spielberg. The movie maker is preparing to shoot a screen version of the novel Jurassic Park, which will be filled with living dinosaurs.
Hey everyone, I am so freaking pumped for this. We're going to be talking practical effects in movies. I love practical effects, so I have an awesome panel here with me tonight. I'm going to have video clips going with everything. Some of the clips might be a little graphic, so just fair warning. With practical effects, horror is a major genre, so just fair warning. But it's going to be awesome. This is going to be so good. I love all these guys' choices for the most part. There's a couple that made even me squeamish, but yeah, let's start bringing everybody in, and then we'll start diving into this. And first up, let's bring in my boy Bob. How you doing, Bob?
What's going on, Tim?
Hey, oh, I'm so pumped.
You ready to party?
Huh? Oh, I'm ready for the party, except for one of your choices.
Yeah, well, you know.
Oh, God.
I cannot wait. I was very excited for tonight. Extremely excited for tonight. Yeah. It's fun to stream with you. I've said it before. You're a great host. And for everybody in the chat, when Tim is hosting, it's a good time because he's a good host and he makes it fun for the people in the chat that aren't on the panel. So have fun in the chat tonight because it's going to get wild.
I appreciate that. I even got a little bit of games to play. Hopefully you guys know your special effects artists. But next up will be James. We got movies with James. How you doing, man?
Good. How are you guys doing?
Doing great. I'm so happy to have you on here. First time on my channel. You'll be on Bob's channel soon. You're going to be making the rounds.
Yeah, it's going to be a busy week for me, so I'm excited. Got some fun movies picked, and I'm excited for that Steelbook tournament coming up at Bob's channel too.
James, you're killing it, man. Seriously, you're putting out a lot of content. It's quality content. If you're not subscribed to James, make sure to do so. You know, just started putting out content, but keep killing it, man. You're doing good work and super exciting. See, this is Tim. Awesome. You're getting. I think this is your first ever live stream, right?
Second.
Oh.
I did one like the first week I started YouTube. It was kind of crazy.
Oh, okay.
Jody reached out and did one with those Cult of Collectors, but I'm excited for this. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
I did see that one, parts of that one. But yeah, Jody's a good guy too.
Yeah.
Yes. Next up, we have Adam. How you doing, Adam? Also,
What's
first time
up?
on my channel.
Yes. How's everyone doing? I'm
great.
doing well myself. Just glad to be here. It's going to be fun talking, practical effects tonight. Instead of doing, my usual hunts and hauls and stuff, actually talking about the movies that I get home and watch. So it's going to be different.
Yeah, you were actually an immediate thought when I was putting this together because I'm like, practical effects, horror, Adam. That was my train of thought.
Yes. And I happened to pick all my choices tonight happen to be from that genre. So Coincidentally, just
Yeah, I mean, it's just how it is. Next up, let's bring in Steve.
Oh, how's it going, guys?
Yeah, how you
Really
doing, man?
excited. Doing great tonight, guys. I got to see Guardians of the Galaxy today, which is great, in the Volume 3. So, but yeah, I've done live streams with Bob before, and first time I've met Tim and James and all these great guys. So I'm really excited tonight. I've got notes set up here ready for the clips to talk about the stuff I have, and most of it's horror. The first one's not horror, but so really excited. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, I'm excited. That's 3 people first time on my channel. That is so cool. And then the last guy has been on my channel before, but he's amazing. Hey, Cody.
What's up, guys? How you guys doing?
Hey, Cody.
Great. So, you ready, Cody?
I'm
had
ready.
Some awesome choices on your list, man.
Thank you, man. I try to keep them all over the place, or else I could have done all horror as well. but I tried to put it all over the place. So we'll see. And it was very hard to come up with just 5. I'll tell you that.
Nice shirt, Tremor.
Thank you. Yeah, Tremors would have been high on my list, but it was picked the first. I watched the first video, the first live you guys did, and someone picked Tremors. So I was like, I'm glad I rewatched this because yeah, Tremors would have been probably 1 or 2 on my list.
Yes, so glad you mentioned that too. For anyone that didn't see, I actually did a prior stream just like this with a different group of people, and a lot of stuff was chosen, and that stuff will not be in here tonight. So you will not see Alien and The Thing and a whole bunch of other ones where you're like, how is that not in the stream? Because it was in that one. This is different movies with a different panel. Right. I'm pumped. So yeah, if you're expecting like American Werewolf, go back and check that other stream after this one because it's there. But let's check out who's in here real quick. We have Spicy 4K Action. Tony!
Hey, what's going on?
We got Gus! Did I add enough U's and S's there?
That's about 13 of them. Nice job. Hey, Mizzy.
Hey, Mizzy. Hey, Johnny.
What's up, Johnny?
Well, we got Adrian here. How you doing? Holland Oates. He's everywhere.
He is.
What's up, Holland?
Tiana. Hey, everyone. Have an awesome stream. We're on our way to watch Guardians 3. Catch the replay. Enjoy the movie. I'm hearing amazing things, Tiana. Seriously, a lot of people are loving that movie.
Enjoy, Tiana.
Yes. Movie Hunter 2020. How you doing? We have Corey here. Hi, all.
What's up, Corey?
We have Ken wrapped up in his Florence Pugh blanket right now. Tim brushed his hair back.
I told you, Tim. I told you you did your hair before.
Yeah, you look really nice today, Tim.
I need
looking
a haircut.
pretty.
I need a haircut desperately. We got Max here. Let's see. Did I miss? We have Cody in the chat. Kick that roundhouse. Kick that like button. But let's dive into this. The Thing deserved to be talked about twice. All right. So we're going to be doing this a little bit different. We're going to be playing the videos while we're still on screen. So this will be different for me. I haven't done this like this, but yeah, we'll start with Bob with Bob's first choice. It'll take me a few seconds to grab the clip, but go ahead, Bob, round 1.
Yeah, so I'm actually going to go in order of how I want to pull them. These aren't necessarily my favorite movies by any stretch of the imagination. I picked a lot based on how cool some of the practical effects are and to bring some attention to forgotten about movies. So my first pick is going to be this little banger and underrated gem called Mosquito. This is a fun watch. In this case, this Blu-ray artwork is awesome. This is released by Synapse Films. Synapse, it is just a lot of fun. It is all practical effects. It was like 95 or 94, 92.
Junior,
So 95.
run, man, run!
A little stupid, but it's fun.
I had no idea what this was. None.
Yeah, I mean, they built their own mosquitoes for this. Like, they don't look necessarily the greatest, but you got to respect them for it.
That's Junior. Can't go out there, man.
Yeah. There's when it gets to its depth, I was like, I saw this before somewhere.
Adam, have you seen Mosquito?
Oh yeah, I have Mosquito. Gunnar Hansen is in the movie as well.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
He's right there. He's right there in the front.
Rubber face.
Yeah, it's an awesome cheesy, fun movie. So,
Yeah, I mean it's not great, but you get what you're expecting out of it.
exactly, it's an entertaining movie.
It's entertaining and you know, the fun little Gunnar Hansen when he grabs the chainsaw and he's like, I haven't held one of these in 25 years or whatever he says.
Makes a reference, yeah.
Yes, they're 21 years or something. It's classic. It's great.
I'm gonna have to see if I have a rental store in my hometown that has like 7,000 movies, and he specializes in horror like that. So I got to see if he has that one. I'm gonna have to rent that one and check that one out.
What the hell?
You have a rental store? You have a rental store?
Dude, this guy, yeah, he's I like didn't even know about it. A coworker told me about it, but he has like probably 7,000 movies in this little shop, and he just rents them out for like $2, and I keep them for like 4 or 5 days, and he's got everything like Synapse, Vinegar Syndrome, like
oh no,
I missed it.
I mean, he has like Asian horror, like Trauma or something. I can't even remember, and like. You go in and he's seen them all. It's one guy that runs the store. It's the coolest thing. I didn't know about it, but yeah, it's pretty exciting. I found out.
Yeah,
you're lucky, dude.
If he has that one, I'd check it out. It's silly, so you got to understand what you're getting into with that. And I'm usually not super into like silly, stupid stuff, but it's a fun time. It's not great, but I had fun with it.
So I turn this back down some. When it gets to about where is it? That's pretty cool effects though. That's cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and they like so the special features on this release are incredible. They went back to the filming location, showed all that stuff. They showed old reels of it from film where it was still sitting there and like where they filmed it. It was just super cool stuff, and it was just really cool to see them show how they built the mosquitoes themselves and things like that, and how they just filmed that. I thought it was really cool.
Yeah. And it's usually on Shudder too. If anybody has Shudder and wants to check it out, it's usually on there.
Nice.
Good pick, Bob. Good pick.
We got Tracy here. How you doing? Corey, that would be awesome to have a video store around like that. Yes, I'm jealous already. We got Tony. How's it going?
What's going on, Tony P?
But yeah, I wish I had a rental store still. I had a Blockbuster by me growing up, and I skipped school so much to go rent movies.
Nice.
But James, what's your first choice?
Well, I hope I'm choosing the right one. Is it?
I have them all. I can just click whichever one you say.
We're gonna start off with 2001: Space Odyssey.
All right.
Like, so when they go through like the space scene, and I had no idea how that was filmed, and learning about how they filmed that was very amazing. I had never seen this movie for a long time, and then my mom told me her story about seeing this film, so I had to check it out. Blown away. Kind of a slower film, but the more I watch it, the more I like it. So this was my pick right here for how they filmed this with multiple different like cameras, I believe, and different like light fixtures shining light through tunnels and stuff like this. It was very cool.
Yeah, this scene is when you said trippy space scene, I didn't know exactly what it was called. You type it in and it really comes up trippy space scene.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, it's probably like the best way to describe it. Like, I don't know how else to describe it. Like, I think
dude, that makes me like,
right?
Watching him, I was feeling what he was feeling there. I was like, that's crazy. That's yeah. I've never seen this, but that's crazy.
And there's like, yeah, the fact that no CGI, obviously, at the time of this was made, but it's all practical. It was just mind blowing to me. So that's why I chose that one.
Yeah, that's 1968, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I dig that choice. That is very cool. I know Huck wouldn't like that as much. Huck is a huge sci-fi guy, and he hates 2001. I haven't seen 2001 in quite a while, but I imagine the 4K looks damn great.
Oh, it looks amazing in 4K. It is very strange and very slow.
It's a slow movie, yeah.
Yeah, and like the ending is just very weird out there. I want to read the book. I want to see if the book is just as strange as the movie, and I'm sure it is, but I want to read the book for that one sometime.
Yeah, and 2010 they gave away like a lot of stuff that they didn't really talk. Stanley Kubrick didn't talk about it. They kind of gave away a lot of stuff in that one in the sequel.
Yeah, I like more like the mysterious aspect. Like make you think about it. I enjoy that.
Something I loved about your choice that is actually a common theme as we go throughout. The special effects artist and team has to work so closely with the cinematographer to pull off shots. And cinematography is one of my favorite aspects of film. I love practical effects, and those two have to mesh. If those two aren't on the same page, you are not going to get a shot that works. And 2001 is a perfect example of that. That is the cinematographer, practical effects, they have to be on the same exact playing field, or otherwise that shot doesn't work.
100%.
Yeah, Christopher Nolan was highly influenced by Stanley Kubrick, so that the wheel thing with the person walking through a wheel, it's in Inception. They use that exact same kind of setup to achieve that effect.
Yeah.
Inception, it's insane. They built an entire hallway. They didn't have to, but they did because they could. I love that. I love it.
Yeah.
It's hard to believe a movie like that was made in the 60s. Yes.
100. I agree with that so much. It's crazy.
Great
pushing boundaries.
Hold up.
Yes. What Steven Spielberg and George Lucas talk about that movie, a huge influence on their sci-fi movies. That was a big part of it. Stanley Kubrick was their idol.
Yeah. I mean, like if you're a director or you love movies, especially from that time period, like how can you not look at 2001 for some influence, especially with all the practical effects and how well done it was.
Absolutely. I love that choice. When I saw your list, I was like, ooh, that's an inspired choice. I dig it.
Nice.
All right, Adam, we'll move straight down. What do you got for your first choice?
Well, since it's not in like order, I'm going to go with like on the cheapest side of the practical effects that you can find, like the cheesiest, pleasiest, Munchies.
All right.
The 1987 classic.
Classic.
It's a classic in my household. My brother and I, we grew up with this. When we found it at Blockbuster, we couldn't believe it. We rented it every week every time it was in. Until finally someone stole it. But as you can see here, it's the Muppets, like horror Muppets. Like it's just basically dolls being placed in certain spots. They're all like just gloves, literally just gloves and some cloth and whatnot, and they didn't spend any money on the effects. Basically, they used what they could find. They probably just went down to Kmart probably at the time. Came home with a bunch of shit and said, "Here we go, Munchies." So it's class. Look at this. Like, how can you beat two hands fighting under the boat? Like, woo, woo, woo. Like with swords. And there's a scene at the ice cream parlor where my son and I noticed the guy throwing the puppets into the window. So I freeze framed it, and you could see the hand, like the guy tossing it in. So this is how they did it. Guy was probably smoking a cigarette, just tossing puppets through a window. But they spent like $12 probably on the stuff, and I just love how basic practical effects can be used, like the simplest things to make such a fun movie. So that's why I went Munchies.
How horror? I've never seen it. So how horror based is it? Like, is it just
it's horror?
It's not horror.
Yeah, it's not even horror. It's like
it's like a kids movie, isn't
humor.
It? Yeah.
It could be a kids movie. That's why I let my son.
There's some kills, but it's nothing violent or gory.
Right.
It's silly.
It's a hand holding on to something, going but
nobody gets impaled.
I have that Scream Factory release, and I watched. And a lot of people get confused because one's called Munchie, one's called Munchies, and they're not a sequel. Like it's not Munchie is not the original. It's a completely different movie. But there is a Munchie 2. So it's like
Yes.
why they did that, I don't know. But there's a Munchie and Munchie 2, and then there's Munchies, and they're completely different.
Dollar Tree Gremlins.
Yes. There's a scene in the movie too where the wife, that I can't remember her name, Fatty, something stupid, but she's holding up a paper and it's got Gremlins with like a question mark. So you can tell they're poking fun at like, oh, this is not Gremlins movie. This is like even worse, like cheesy. But I love it.
Is that Blu-ray still in print? Is it? Should I? Yeah, it is.
It's still in print. You could get it from Screen. It's not.
Yeah. No, it should be. Nobody's buying Munchies
should be,
probably.
yeah.
I'm like one of the 4 people that bought it. Like,
Wait till a Shocktober sale. It should be like $15 or $12 or something like that.
yeah.
If you had to choose for movies from now to only have practical effects or visual effects, what do you pick? Ideally, the perfect marriage is the two. The two work together. CGI and practical accomplishes everything. I personally believe CGI should be what you can't accomplish practically.
Right.
But if I had to pick, I grew up in the practical effects age. I find it more charming. So I would go with that. But ideally, you want the two together.
Like Cocaine Bear.
Johnny says picking practical every day.
Same here.
Yeah, I grew up with it. We all grew up with it. It's more. There's a lot of stuff where I don't need things to look real. Like sometimes there's charm in that. This is completely and utterly fake. Kind of like Munchies. This isn't real, but there's kind of a charm to it. I kind of like that.
Yeah, it was fun. It's not good, but it was fun. Just like Mosquito. It's not great, but it's fun. And that's what me and Adam are trying to have fun with it, right?
Right. Gotta have fun with movies.
I want to see the Practical Bear movie. All right, Steve.
Oh,
what you got for your choice?
Oh yeah, well, mine is Wes Anderson's Fantastic Mr. Fox. The stop motion animation. It's like one of the first 2 movies he did. So this is my first one as a non-horror.
Mug, actually, an antique one that he kept his pencils in.
Yeah.
I've never seen this yet. Still, there's a ton of Wes Anderson I've not seen.
By the end of the film, we'll have about
But
120.
I'm a sucker for stop motion now. I do love stop motion.
Yeah, it's really tedious. I mean, you really have to be dedicated to the craft to put together stop motion animation. And he did another movie called Isle of Dogs, which is not nearly as good as this one. But he has a lot of big name stars that do voiceovers. Yeah, like George Clooney and Meryl Streep are like the main 2 stars in the movie. And they've never done another Wes Anderson movie, but quite a few. Like Bill Murray, he's been in a lot of Wes Anderson movies. Willem Dafoe, Owen Wilson, Jason Schwartzman. A lot of people love to work with him.
And I think that's
watching the special features for like the Leica movies, like Kubo and stuff. They'll spend an entire day to do a second or 2. Like it's. It's insane. Like you're spending weeks to accomplish a minute of film.
Yeah, like last video, I think somebody did Jason and the Argonauts. It's like the ultimate, influence on stop motion animation, like that kind of stuff. So yeah, to me, you definitely have to be dedicated, and you have to have a crew that really loves their craft, to do that. Just because it takes forever to put a film together. So yeah, so definitely check out that, and I think this is fun for the whole family, and it's, adults can love it. It's not real dark, but the story is really funny, and I thought they told a really great story. Yeah.
I like the stop motion choice. I really do. If I was making choices tonight, I would have chosen a Leica movie. I probably would have picked like Kubo. I freaking love Kubo, but it's insane. Like the faces of the puppets come off so they can keep changing the expressions out. It's wild. That stuff's so cool. Jim Henson, I feel, is underrated and not discussed. Yes.
Right.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Definitely Frank Oz. Yeah.
Absolutely love Fantastic Mr. Fox.
There you go.
Awesome panel. Love the topic. Headed out to see Evil Dead Rise, which has practical effects and lots of it.
Lots of blood.
Yeah. Enjoy that, Huck. It's such a good time, man. To say it's my least favorite Evil Dead is is a disservice because I like them all so much. So it's still a badass movie. I was wondering if stop motion would come up. Such a fun movie. Yes, absolutely. Love Fantastic Mr. Fox.
Yeah, there you go.
Fantastic Mr. Fox, most enjoyable and easy watching. Yeah, lots of love for Mr. Fox.
Yep.
It's a good movie.
Yep.
See ya, Huck. Hope Evil Dead Rise is scary. It's fun.
You like it?
Yeah.
It is fun.
Tomorrow is my birthday. Well, happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
You getting lots of happy birthdays from everyone. I hope you have a great day. Seriously.
Yep.
If you guys like Scream, you will love Fantastic Mr. Fox.
Totally the same. Totally the same.
Oh my gosh.
Jim is still going. This is
all right, Cody. What you got for your first choice?
So my number 5 is going to be actually directed by a practical effects genius, and that's Stan Winston's Pumpkinhead.
Ooh.
Let's not go back in time.
Here we are.
There you go.
Yeah, I grabbed like behind the scenes making of stuff where I could.
Yeah.
I love seeing the footage from like in the shops trying to create the monsters.
And it's crazy too when you watch them do all these effects for all these movies. They're always having the greatest time.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
You can tell they're just a bunch of friends hanging out, making badass things. You know.
If I could show it on stream, I got like this gigantic Pumpkinhead statue. I mean, it's like, oh, it's so huge. He's such a cool character. That it got us to the next. I can't imagine acting that role. Like the guy's on stilts and my stupid ass would fall over.
Yeah.
I did the final drawing of the head, and Tom did the final.
It's just so awesome. It would be something that'd be CGI'd today.
Oh God, yes, absolutely.
Sculpted the body with John.
Turn this up a bit, just it's super interesting.
I think this is.
Yeah, there we go.
I think John is opening up a clay press.
There was a version of the Pumpkinhead at the end of the movie where it needed to incorporate some of Lance Henderson's features into it, and that's something that I worked on. Shane is working on that intermediate stage Pumpkinhead, and here's Alec on the. I think I just returned from Predator during this period, or maybe it was right before I left. I can't remember. No, I think you came back at that point.
That stuff is so fascinating. You guys watch behind the scenes stuff?
Because I was
absolutely.
Our trash bag version test.
Sometimes
the idea
I
is
guess
to
depends
really show
on
the
the movie.
silhouette.
Yeah,
The silhouette
not
is
as
what
much
design's
as
all
I
about.
should,
We're doing
but
monster stuff. That's the
trying to get
biggest thing.
into it a
More
little
important
bit
than
more.
any detail is
Especially
the
stuff
silhouette
like
of the
this.
creature. So if we cover the
Yeah.
performer,
Right.
This is cool.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Very
I freaking
interesting.
Loved that choice.
Boutique
Loved it.
labels, I will. It depends on what's on it. And sometimes if I have questions about the movie, like Criterion, when I watch something very heavy, I'll check out special features to hear what they have to say about the movie, and maybe I didn't understand it.
So I will throw out, since Pumpkinhead was brought up, Pumpkinhead is covered in this. For people that don't mind books, this is a fantastic book, all about the makeup and effects for all these iconic monsters, including Pumpkinhead. Like, there's a big section on Pumpkinhead in here. This is such a great book. It only came out like last year. You get it for like $20-some. It's more of a coffee table book with tons of pictures. So
I like that style.
yeah.
Is there like a Rick Baker chapter in there?
Oh, this covers all of the major people. It's so cool.
Yep.
And ew, books.
Read.
I don't think Ken can read. That's okay.
As long as it has pictures.
I don't know if you saw Ken's comment earlier. He said he was sitting on Florence Pugh's blanket earlier, so he was sitting on top of Florence Pugh's face, I guess.
All right. So before we go through the next round, I'm going to play a little game that goes through the chat. Chat before you guys answer, just because I want to give them a second. But who is the special effects artist that did American Werewolf?
Rick Baker.
Just give it away tonight.
I know, but
All right.
it is Rick Baker, but I thought we were letting the chat try to answer.
Oh, is that what you said? I'm sorry.
Yeah, I did.
I know. I was like,
I'm sorry.
I gave the answer.
I'm so sorry.
That's all good.
Cody said Rick Baker.
Jim, the question is, did you know the answer
Good call,
before
though.
Cody said it, Jim? Because you were going to win $100, but Cody just took that from you.
Give it to Jim.
Yeah, whoever did it first. Yeah,
Hey guys, I'm in the chat as well, so that's how I confuse myself.
yeah, I'm reading the chat too. But
I never learned to read. but
Baker's
yeah,
he's like
I've
a
got a-
7-time Oscar winner there, right? So, yeah, genius.
That was awesome.
I've got a few other of those though that I'm gonna play. So
I'll shut the hell up next time.
That was just a warm-up.
I was so excited.
I know.
That's it. That's classic, man. And
That's like my favorite sequence in the movie is the dirt bike scene. I love everything about that whole beginning, or like relatively pretty early in the beginning.
Cody really was in the chat.
He wanted that $100.
Yeah, Adam was giving out $100 gift card for the answer to that, but he just
I told the answer before I asked about the book. I gave the answer over there. Like, oh, didn't realize he was going to ask that question.
Tim's gonna have to mute me next time.
All right, so let's go on the next pass around for anyone. I am not making choices. This was already a lot of work getting all their stuff ready, so I wasn't going to add 5 more. We're just going to work through the 25 choices of these guys. So go ahead, Bob.
Yeah, so my number 4 I'll choose is another Synapse Films release. They got good special features over there and good movies, and this is a fun one that I think a lot of people probably have seen. We got Intruder. It takes place in a supermarket. Sam Raimi's in this as well.
Yeah, I've actually never seen this, and Bruce Campbell, he's in it somewhere. I've never seen this one, though.
Yeah, Sam Raimi's in it. As far as Bruce Campbell, he was a special appearance by Bruce Campbell as well. So it's a fun watch, and the special effects in this
there's
one.
Ted Raimi.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Both Raimi brothers are in the movie.
Yeah, they all went to film school together, so that's why they all kind of
we're talking crazy good special features in this, special effects in this one. Really good stuff.
Yeah, I was watching this. I'm like, what the hell are some of these deaths? Some of these deaths were insane.
Yeah,
it's the best supermarket horror out there. So
good movie too. Like it's a fun slasher.
This is why I put the graphic warning at the start, though. This and a couple other choices.
And that release Bob has is a great release.
Yeah, I have that too.
Oh, this is gnarly, though. Like, the effect on this is absolutely gnarly. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Oh, my
yeah.
Goodness gracious.
Look at Bob just smile through that.
Gus is gonna have nightmares. I feel like tonight because Gus is like doesn't watch this. He mostly watches like Disney stuff. So I feel like Gus is gonna struggle sleeping tonight.
There's a monologue at the end that's really cool by the reveal of the killer. It's really awesome. So great pick, Bob.
Yeah,
thank you.
I love it.
It's a good one. And like you said, Synapse does do really good work. A lot of special features go into their stuff. I mean, they're not the only ones. Like Arrow and other companies do great special features, but you know you can always count on them for good stuff.
God, that was so. You picked some pretty gnarly choices, though.
I just don't want to scare Gus. That's all. I just feel
How
bad.
freaking dare you, Bobby?
Sorry, Gus. Yeah, I'm sorry, buddy. How'd you like Men? I know we watched Men tonight. I think. Well,
go ahead and answer that. But,
that sounds bad. Sorry. I'm sorry, guys.
I need to see Intruder. Damn, it looks fantastic.
Yeah, you
it is. It's
yes,
fun.
Johnny.
Yeah,
I bought that same release from Synapse, and that's how I learned about another one I'll talk about later. But yeah,
I think they might have another Intruder release potentially from another company overseas. Adam, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah,
88 films?
it's the
88
red
films?
cases, 88 films.
88
yeah.
films. There we go. Yeah.
Damn,
It's part of their slasher collection. You know, the numbered spines that you love. So,
No, Ken, I love
one of
Gus.
those.
I just don't want to hurt his feelings.
Disney only. All right.
Where's Herbie? Where's Herbie?
When the car splits apart, there we go.
Gus just doesn't watch like this kind of stuff, so I'm just afraid that he's gonna have nightmares tonight. I love Gus. I don't want him to have nightmares.
Well, I could say none of it's my fault. This is all their choices.
Yeah, Gus is watching Audrey Hepburn. He came in last week and he thought it was an Audrey Hepburn stream. So he's watching Audrey Hepburn movies, not Intruder.
Well, Gus, if you like Audrey Hepburn, you'll definitely like Intruder.
Or Scream. Or Scream.
Or Scream, yeah.
Nice.
All right, James, what's your...
Well, my next pick would be the first R-rated film I ever got. I got this movie when I was 7 years old on VHS for Christmas from my aunt, and that would be Terminator 2. The opening scene with like Skynet has taken over and the battle is going on, that is almost all entirely practical effects. They use like 5 different styles of practical effects to achieve all these shots. So when like doing some research for this stream, I found that out, and I was kind of blown away that this is majority practical effects. So that's why I picked this one, and just that history I have with this film. I was really surprised my aunt bought this film for me as a 7-year-old for Christmas as a Christmas present, and my parents didn't take it away somehow.
Yeah, there is CGI in here, but it's used so sparingly, mainly with like the T-1000 going through the bars and a couple other things.
Mm-hmm.
But I had to include this in here too because this this is gnarly, and I love miniatures. I love miniature work, and that's what the whole bomb going off is just all miniatures.
Yeah, I like when they like just blow up entire miniature towns and film it, and I mean that would be all awesome. CGI nowadays for most people.
That's so cool. Like it looks completely fake, but it looks real at the same time. If that makes any sense.
It looks better than any CGI would do, though.
Yeah, I agree, Cody.
Right.
Yeah, it doesn't look bad at all. I mean, especially for 91.
That scene is so cool, though.
I live in Arizona, and that's what it's like when there's a gust of wind during the summer.
Like you can fry your eggs on your dashboard of your car. And bake some cookies. I'd bake some cookies in there, so it smells a little bit better. You know?
It is hot in Arizona,
yeah.
T2 was not only a great sequel, I would say it might be the best in my opinion.
I'd say it's the best Terminator film. Like I saw T2 before I saw Terminator by many years.
That movie's ass. The problem with it's plastic, right? They look like they're waxed in the T2 4K transfer.
It's DNR. DNR when you remove the green, it makes things look like waxy figures.
Well, and I think they did like the 4K transfer was done on like a Blu-ray 3D master or something silly. Like they didn't do like a prop, like to get the proper stuff to do the transfer even. And James Cameron makes awesome movies, but I don't think we're ever going to see a proper 4K remaster of this film, sadly.
He's too busy with the blue people.
Yeah, blue people take a lot of time.
Avatar.
He's too busy with all CGI now.
Yeah, 100% CGI now.
I heard eventually they're going to do Titanic 4K.
I'm sure they are. Like, I'm sure we're gonna get a Titanic 4K, a True Lies 4K. That's gonna come. Like, but he has a clause. I'm pretty sure that he has to do the masters himself now. I think after this T2 debacle or something.
Well, who knows how long it's gonna be because he's got 8 avatars lined up for something. Like they already announced like how many of them?
I think 5, but it's probably gonna be 8. You know, he'll probably be like Game of Thrones and never finish.
I didn't even see Avatar 2. I have no interest. I'm sure I will see it, but I'm not excited at all. But,
Those
Likewise.
movies can only be seen in 3D. I think they can't be seen at home. It's not the same.
The thing is, I can't do 3D. I get sick with 3D. So
yeah.
The first time I watched Cloverfield, I got a bad headache. That was like my first experience with shaky cam, and it was a struggle for me, but I got used to it over time.
Yeah,
it was still kind of new when Cloverfield came out, so it was kind of jarring to see, especially on a big screen.
Yeah, it's shaky. People don't like the shaky cam and stuff.
I'd like to issue a formal apology to Gus. I do.
Justice for Gus.
Justice for Gus.
Sorry, Gus.
Please forgive me, Gus.
Well, Gus, I don't know if it gets any better, so get ready.
All right, Adam, why don't we go with your next choice?
This could have been a Disney classic. Killer Klowns from Outer Space.
Yeah.
It's just another cheesy, fun movie that went with a lot of we got here behind the scenes stuff.
Yeah.
This he also worked with the Scioto brothers on this, so Stephen and Edward, and they put together a lot of just like wax masks and props, and just again great use of practical effects. Using real things to create scenes in movies. So it's another just good example.
For some reason, the clip sounded louder before. This was super interesting. He was talking about forced perspective and how to pull off the shots, and then it was going to lead up into showing Clownzilla, but it was too low. That disappoints me. It was fascinating. If you look on YouTube, the amount of awesome behind-the-scenes stuff you will find, it is crazy. Some of the stuff has never even made the DVD or Blu-ray. I found stuff that was Laserdisc only features. That's so cool.
Yeah, I actually had watched this same clip the other day, so there's actually a few good ones on there of them talking about, I guess, how they use the cameras and perspective, to create, things. But I like the prosthetics. Those heads are just classic. Everyone knows Killer Klowns still. So, and they want to do, I think, from my understanding, new Killer Klowns and incorporate smaller face, but still do the same thing. Like they've gotten better at it basically over the years. So,
yeah,
I can't wait.
And then they reuse those clowns for Ernest Scared Stupid, which I think is awesome.
Yeah, the bodysuits and faces and stuff.
Yeah, faces.
Just
They just painted it up and added some things.
Prosthetics. That's all you need just to add. Which is another movie I have coming up where they just used one prosthetic and did different things with it. So you could do lots of stuff with this stuff.
I wish I grabbed
Great movie.
I wish I grabbed a different clip. Like I said, it was much louder before that. You guys have to look up the stuff afterward. He went deep into like forced perspective and stuff, and that stuff is absolutely fascinating. So, what do we got here before we go into Steve's, who doesn't love Killer Klowns?
Right.
We got Garrett in the house. How you doing, man?
Garrett.
A bunch of highs back and forth, and hope you're all doing well. Absolutely are. We're talking a lot of movies that you probably like, Garrett. So next up, Steve, what you got?
So we talked about Intruder and Sam Raimi. Well, he did this movie, Army of Darkness, which is Evil Dead, stuff. But this is, K&B effects.
Oh, looks good. Cheese puppets. Cheap kind of way. Muppets. Puppetoons. All right, Howard.
You go ahead and talk. I turned it down a little. This is I love it.
K&B effects to this. And actually, my next three are all K&B effects.
The principle is very simple.
Build
two versions of your armature. One of them you put inside the puppet.
Love stuff like this. This movie is pure, just silly fun, and Bob would hate it so much.
All of those movements are translated.
This is the most comical of the five Evil Dead movies. But, it's less horror than some of the others. I kind of crank out my horror as I go along.
Yeah, I would say it's so borderline as horror. Like it's there's like no scares at all. It's pure comedy. The first movie is pure horror. The second movie is a mix of both, and the third movie is just a comedy.
A good time.
The effects work is amazing.
My mom let me go see this movie when I was a kid in the movie theaters on a school night with my buddies, and I loved it.
So much fun. Bob, you have to watch this. You'll hate it, but you have to watch it.
Again,
You told me not to watch it. Now you're telling me.
I'll
Now
watch
I'm
it.
changing. I know
I'll
you'll
watch
hate
it with you, Bob.
but you have to
I'll
see
watch
it
it
for the
with
sake.
I did not like Evil Dead 2. I did like Evil Dead.
You'll love Army of Darkness. You'll love it.
Yeah.
It's the most mainstream of the Sam Raimi Evil Dead movies, but it's the most fun though. Bruce Campbell got to really show off his humor, but K&B effects, I think Greg Nicotero was in Day of the Dead, and that's kind of where he got into effects work like that, and then he got K&B, they did a lot of stuff throughout the middle 80s until like the mid 90s or so. Then Nicotero got hired for The Walking Dead, and that's what he's done for the last decade or so.
Nobody can hate Army of Darkness.
I
Bob
agree.
would, though. If he didn't like the tone of Evil Dead 2, it's not going to get better with Army of Darkness. But you could check it off the list, I guess.
Yeah.
It's got the best lines in it, though. But it's got a mix of practical and makeup effects and that kind of stuff. And it's.
All right. Well, then I'm watching it because I love Braveheart.
Oh yeah, they're so similar.
Exactly the same.
It's almost the same movie.
It's like Braveheart 2.
Mark, I appreciate the want to support the channel. I haven't activated super chats. I don't know if I ever will.
Yo, shout out to you, Tim, though, because we talked about this before, and I love doing YouTube and hosting streams as well. But Tim, you had literally told me, because I asked you why you don't have super chats as well. You just don't want it to feel like a job, and you love doing it for the passion. So much respect to you, Tim, for that. Huge respect to you for doing that. You didn't even monetize your channel until you were at like 1,700.
Yeah, for quite a while. I don't want money from anyone. I want you guys to spend your money on yourselves or other creators and not me. Just the ad revenue, and even then, I don't even turn on monetization for all the videos. My video today didn't even have it activated. I don't know. I just want to do this for fun. That's all.
Why do you think I love Tim, guys?
That's why you should do it, though, Tim, too.
Every man's man.
All right. So, Cody, what you got?
All right, number 4, I'm going to take it back to my childhood. We're going to go with a Rick Baker, which I thought this was Jim Henson my whole life until recently. I saw it was Rick Baker, and it's going to be Harry and the Hendersons.
Right.
There's something about a guy in a suit and then having the animatronics. I love it.
Yes. This was a really good, behind the scenes thing I found. I
mean,
love
it
finding
wasn't
this stuff.
just creating a creature where you went, wow, that's Bigfoot. This one had to be, wow, that's Bigfoot, but oh my God, there's a being in there who's thinking, who's reasoning, who can make decisions, who has the ability to care.
That was the emotion I wanted to convey the most. That just there's this gentle, intelligent soul.
That's a special effects legend right there. Such a fun movie.
One of the things that Bill was saying is that Harry has to be big. He really wants him to be big, and I immediately said I know the guy that's going to play Harry. That should play Harry. This friend of mine, Kevin Peter Hall, who's a 7-foot tall actor who I got his first job in Hollywood, and we became fast friends after that. And
the Predator,
that he'd be so perfect for the part.
Sad what happened to
At
him.
the heart of it all, what made it work is that Kevin was a good actor. Kevin was 7'2", and Kevin wanted to be Harry from the time he came in. I mean, we interviewed a lot of people, big, gangly people that had done suit work before, but when Kevin came in, there was something about it. You could see the passion to bring Harry to life, and there was really, once we saw Kevin, there was no question. He sort of embraced Harry from the inside, and that's the best thing that could have happened, because our suit was very much an outside thing, but it needed that heart and soul on the inside, and that came out through the eyes and his movements and the way he took that whole being of Harry and made it very, very human.
The fact that they were able to make the suit and still get through his eyes, that's impressive. It is so damn good. That is amazing special effects. Rick Baker is a freaking legend.
Yeah. Yeah, have you ever seen this 1976 King Kong? He was the guy in the ape suit in King Kong. But was that the year after Predator? I think it was like 88, 89, something like that.
Yeah, I think that's 88.
Yeah.
I'm adding this to my watch list. I've never actually heard of this.
No,
heard of Harry Hendersons?
It's not horror though.
Yeah,
it's so good though, Bob. You'll love Harry.
Yeah,
1987. I'm adding it right now.
Was that Harambe?
I just made a note myself too, Bob, that I had to put that movie. I've never seen that one either. So
it's such a super. They even had a TV show that lasted 2 or 3 seasons, and the guy who played Harry actually came back to play Harry for the first season before he passed away.
Oh.
Same actor played Predator also.
Right. Yep.
Doesn't have a Blu-ray, does it?
No, they have a really good DVD though.
It should have a Blu-ray.
Do they? Because I don't have the Blu-ray. I have a really good DVD of it. I didn't know that there was a Blu-ray.
I'll see.
I'm pretty sure out hunting I've seen it like in my rows of H's, but could be mistaken. But I'm pretty positive.
Yeah, it looks
that
like
movie's...
Harry and the Hendersons was released by Universal in February of 2022.
There you go.
Oh, so brand new.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen it out there, and that has like the best bridge scene. You know, where he's the siren. Like, I still do that. Like,
I don't know if it's out of print. You can't get it on Amazon, at least not through Amazon. You got to find like a third.
I had no idea.
I'm gonna put that on my list when I go out hunting.
And like I said, my whole life I thought it was Jim Henson until I was putting together my list, and I was like, "Holy shit!" It's
it's like $8.50 on eBay, $7.99. So $1.49 starting bid. So yeah, you get $5 starting bid, $10.49. So yeah, it's cheap. But Adam, he's gonna find it for $2 out thrifting because that's what he's
right.
Yeah. I think Rick Baker won an Oscar for that too, for that one. So he's got 7 of them. So he keeps winning Oscars. But yeah, I think was he like 73 now, 74?
Now, you know what's funny about doing streams like this? So now all of a sudden there's going to be like 10 Harry and the Henderson Blu-rays sold on eBay. And like, what's going on with this stuff? You know, that's how it goes. So many of these streams that happens. People are like, oh, and then all of a sudden Amazon sells 10 copies of it the next day.
It sparks memories. It sparks like, oh, that movie. Like, I forgot about it.
I mean, we're physical media collectors, so yeah, we're going to go out and buy it. Especially for $10 or $8 or $5.
Yeah.
Great deal.
So before we go to the next round, we're going to play another one of those games that hopefully Cody doesn't answer it. Give the chat a few. This one's really hard. I will props for whoever gets this. We're going into the TV realm more. This guy did for, he did for Buffy, he did for X-Files, he did for a ton of special effects heavy shows, a lot of practical effects for monsters. Does anyone in the chat know who that is? I'd be impressed if anyone knows. Does anyone don't anyone say it, but does anyone on the panel know it?
I don't know the name. I know that's from Hush.
Yes.
Quiet. That's one of the best episodes of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Yeah, really scary.
I know who the actor is, but I don't know who did him.
Yeah, people might not know, but I got a couple of easy ones and a couple of hard ones. What the hell? We're talking special effects, so
let's
throw
learn
them in there. But all right, we'll go through Bob's. Give people time to probably Google it, and then we'll show it after Bob. So, what you got for your number 3?
Number 3 is going to be a Steelbook. My next 3 are Steelbook. Scream Factory released this one. Ton of fun. I just rewatched it in October, as I watched like 70 movies last October. This was a rewatch. It's got Adam's mistress, Linnea Quigley, in this one, and Night of the Demons. This is a great one, and Linnea Quigley looks incredible in this, by the way.
I could not find good video. I couldn't find good video at all. For this. I don't know
So
why.
now I'm imagining the Linnea Quigley one too, like that's practical effects with her in the lipstick and all that stuff, and I think she like sticks it in between. She sticks it on her boobs,
Her nipple, yeah,
right inside her nipple.
yeah, her like nipple eats it.
I don't know how they did that, but it's really cool, and she just looks great in this one. She looks great in a ton of everything in the 80s and 90s, but there's some awesome practical effects in this movie. It's a lot of fun, just from start to finish. Night of the Demons is a blast.
Yeah, that was the only one I had problem finding footage of. I found tons of footage, but nothing practical effects wise, like her dancing or something.
Yeah.
I've never seen this movie, so.
Oh, okay, yeah. Was my number one probably the worst of it though? The one I'm gonna pull.
I got footage for everything else.
No, you said that is a little gory though.
Oh God, there's crazy gory stuff coming up.
Oh yeah, there is. Oh yeah.
But real quick, no one Googled it or what? You need to check this guy out. It's Robert Hall.
Okay.
He did Buffy, X-Files, a lot of big sci-fi centric shows from the 90s. So yeah, big special effects guy. Didn't dip into movies as much, but hey, TV shows need love too.
Right.
Adam, did you pre-order your Linnea Quigley workout tape? Are you going to work out to that?
Yes, of course. Of course.
I bet you're
that's my number 32 film. That's actually, I forgot I have one more, so technically that'll be number 33. I have 33 films when that comes of her in it, with her somewhere incorporated or starring, or I love her. Sorry. I mean, next to my wife, but you know, she's second.
Yeah.
Linnea is. Linnea is.
Groove has Harry for $7.99.
Nice. And
ooh, damn. Groove's gonna sell a ton of them tonight.
Right? Sold out.
Yep. All right. So let's head to James next.
My next pick would be a classic Raiders of the Lost Ark, the face melting scene. So lots of prosthetics, makeup, but they also like sped up the film. They use multiple different ways to do the practical effects. Love Indiana Jones as a kid, still do, the original 3 at least. But this is why I chose that one. Love older films with the practical effects too.
Yeah, I love this film. So what's your there's the whole thing going around on Indy doesn't matter in the movie. What's your take on that? Does Indy matter or no?
I mean, they haven't done like a crossover, like a takeover of Indy yet. So I still say Indy matters in the new film. Like they haven't passed the torch down in a good way. The fourth one, they kind of tried to do that, but obviously it did not work well with the fans and sit well. I'm really interested to see what they do, like the de-aging, even though we're talking practical effects. But I read that the first like 20 minutes of the film is all de-aged Harrison, so I'll be interested to see that. Hopefully, it's a good plot.
Yeah, hopefully.
So I've never seen, and like I think I've
right
seen.
There.
Look at that! Look at that!
It's more. I've seen like bits and pieces of it as a kid, but I'm actually going to be watching all 4 right before the new one comes out. Checking it out.
That
nice
burned into your brain as a kid.
Uh-huh.
Like, that part is so freaking awesome. So
I love that scene.
Yes.
Yeah, Steven Spielberg didn't even want to do the 4th one, so it kind of showed too. They did a lot of CGI in that movie. Yeah, it kind of ruined it.
What I'm hoping for with the de-aging, though, again, even though we're practical, they need to handle him moving like an 80-year-old. Like the Irishman did okay on the de-aging, but they still moved like 80-year-olds. Like Indy needs to be flexible and agile and not move like an 80-year-old. So hopefully they solved that. I mean, he could look fantastic, but if he still moves like Grandpa, it's not going to come across that well.
I mean, didn't he like get injured while filming this too? I think, right?
Yeah, like walking off steps or something. He broke.
Getting out of bed.
How many did he direct
on
the
that,
first
too.
4 then? He directed all 4?
What,
No,
Spielberg?
Yeah.
He didn't do
Yes.
the 4th one. Well, he did the. He's not doing this one.
Yeah, he's not. This is the first one without. This is James
He
Mangold.
did the first 4 though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he did. He did.
Yeah.
He didn't want to do the 4th one though. He'd be talked into it. That's the kind of show.
And he did not want to do the 5th one, huh?
No.
I just laugh because he broke a hip.
Yeah, that's what I thought it was his hip. Yeah.
Hey, don't laugh at us old folk. It'll happen to you soon. Get out of bed and you pull a back muscle and you're like, oh god.
I pulled my back sneezing. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
All right, Adam, your turn.
I'm gonna go back to the puppets because I like my killer puppets. Critters, just a classic, from my childhood. I watched this religiously, and with popcorn, at home, mainly on my recorded VHS. They use like these little foam latex molds. They actually only created 4 critters, and they decided to just add scars and other things to the prosthetics to make a total of 8 in the movie. So another way of saving money with practical effects. Ghoulies, Munchies, critters, anything that like basically had a little puppet involved or something with teeth back in the day, I loved. So I don't know who doesn't love critters, to be honest.
They're fun movies,
right? Literally, they could have just wrapped like fur around a soccer ball when they like the critters would roll in. I mean, that's all they needed. You could just roll up, anything over a ball and roll it, look like a critter. So
which critter is it where they become like a giant critter ball?
Critters
Like,
2 is the giant critter ball, and that's such a blast. It's so much fun, and it's an Easter movie, and they kill an Easter bunny.
Yes, the ball with the teeth and just roll over people, turn into a skeleton in seconds.
Look at how cool that is, though.
Right.
It's so awesome.
So like I don't even know if there's any CGI in this movie. Even the exploding house, I'm assuming they exploded the house and then did like a reverse camera angle playback, to put it back together. So shaking the boards on the ground, like just blow some air over it. It's a great example of practical effects though. Chiodo Brothers, this was, I want to say, one of their first or second films, third films. It was one of their early works. So that was a blockbuster, at least.
I am not actually. I'm going to get a lot of hate for this. I like Barbara Crampton and I like Linnea Quigley, but Dee Wallace, she annoys the hell out of me so much.
Oh damn!
Yeah, I'm not a Dee Wallace fan. Like in '90, like oh my god, she's one of the in that movie sucks. Jeepers Creepers Reborn, but she's in like the first 8 minutes, and she's one of the worst parts of that movie too.
Yeah,
and she's so bad.
She's not my fave.
And I watched this other movie with her. It's like it was on like I don't know Hulu, and she's just so annoying.
I have possibly one of the more controversial opinions. Then, since people love Cujo, I don't care for Cujo.
Oh, either.
Her character in that movie. So you hear stories of mothers basically like lifting cars and doing almost superhuman feats to save their child, and in Cujo, she just chills in this hot ass car letting her son die. And there's like several moments where she could have tried something and she did nothing. And I'm like, what the hell kind of mother are you? You're doing nothing at all. This entire movie, nothing is happening. I
don't hate Dee Wallace the way I hate like others.
Bob hates Dee Wallace.
No, not like I hate Danny McBride. That's who I hate.
Oh,
like with a passion. But Dee Wallace, I just don't really care for her. But she's fine in Critters. It's just some of her movies, she's super annoying.
She's in The Howling. At the end of The Howling. Don't want to spoil it if anybody hasn't seen it. But
yeah, I've seen The Howling.
Yeah, The Howling. She's in E.T. She's pretty good in that one. But she's not really in that movie. It's more about the kids than it's her.
Hit or miss.
But I love Barbara Crampton. Like she's an angel. Like she's great and everything. She's fun.
Dee Wallace rocks. I would just sit in the hot car, just watch too.
Cujo's fun. It tends to drag at times. I feel like it could get boring a little bit. But do you guys all like Cujo except for Tim?
I'm not a big fan.
I like Cujo. I
like Cujo.
Yeah, it's fun.
So, unless I need to rewatch, though, which I really don't want to, the whole husband cheating storyline has absolutely zero purpose at all. It was the only there to get her to that house
location.
It served zero, like there was no payoff. There was no nothing. It literally had zero purpose.
Ken, if you're still watching, buy Tim a Cujo blanket tomorrow.
Yeah, I went into it. I'm like, people love this movie. I finished it. I'm like, oh god, this kind of sucked.
You know what? Better yet, Tim, I'm actually, if you check your PO box, I sent a New York Ripper blanket to you.
Oh god, don't get me started on New York Ripper, man. Oh god, I'm gonna get canceled for hating these popular movies. But yeah,
that's impractical in that one, isn't it, Adam? New York Ripper, definitely practical.
Oh, I'm sure.
Ass.
Yeah, it's all.
Yeah, older horror, it's like all practical.
Yeah, that eye ripping. How did you not like the eye gouging scene though? It's great.
I mean, to watch an hour and 45-minute movie for about 10 seconds isn't my cup of tea. It was terrible.
If Holland gets me, unlike Ken, if I got a Danny McBride blanket, that's getting burned immediately.
Oh, dude, I gotta get you one.
Immediately, that is getting burned. Even make it into my place, it would get burned.
I'll make a video of it.
All right, Steve, what you got?
This third one here that's actually don't own this anymore, at least right now. It's controversial if you know From Dusk Till Dawn, and it's supposed to get released on 4K on October 26th of 2021 and never did. And at that time I had it on DVD and Blu-ray and got rid of those anticipating.
That was super loud. Go ahead.
Quentin Tarantino, it's got George Clooney there. This movie totally turns. Once I don't want to spoil it for people, but once they get to a certain point, it goes completely different. It becomes a completely different movie. It's Tom Savini plays was a Sex Machine or something. In this.
I see what Tim's doing here.
What?
Yes, now the Tim is coming out.
Yeah.
But this is a mix of CGI and practical.
Tim talks Selma Hayek's feet.
But that's a nice mix. Like her changing it's CGI, but then she's in a mask right there. That's cool. That's the way you should do it. You blend the two. But this is a great movie.
It's Robert Rodriguez. I wonder what happened to the 4K. It's like, there must be some licensing or maybe the music rights or something. Something delayed that movie, and it's been a year and a half, and still hasn't been released in 4K yet. So I'm without that movie right now.
I love how this stream's become about blankets. Like Bob's getting a I'll take a reindeer game blanket, no problem, Gus. But yeah, Tim talks Text Chainsaw Massacre lunchbox. I would love that for Tim.
Oh God. And what did you mean by you see what I was doing anyway? I mean, who wouldn't want to put Salma Hayek on the screen?
I get it. In the 90s, not so much anymore.
Are you ageist, Bob?
No, I'm not ageist. I just don't really care for her anymore. I don't think she's that great of an actress, to be honest. Like she annoys me too. But I did love her in From Dusk Till Dawn, absolutely, but not a big fan anymore. Like she's terrible in Grown Ups.
Right.
I love how Tarantino has such a foot thing that he gets cast in the movie so that he could have tequila go down her leg across her foot into his mouth. I'm like, it's so Tarantino. Like there's gonna be a foot in a mouth and it's gonna be Tarantino.
Yeah.
It's a Robert Kurtzman story, but Tarantino wrote the screenplay and Robert Rodriguez directed it. So it's a whole mix there. And Tarantino's actually one of the co-stars in the movie from George Clooney's.
I noticed we need to get Tim yay feet.
Yay feet, Jesus. Yay feet.
There you go.
Legends.
There.
If Tim does yay feet for us, I'll clip that.
No. All right, Cody.
All right, so my number 3, I'm actually going to do. It's another Stan Winston creation, and that's going to be Terminator, the first one.
Yeah.
I like all the they do. They do all kinds of different things in here. Practical. They do stop motion.
Maybe I didn't get an updated list. I don't have the first Terminator.
Okay, so yeah, because I asked you to switch it out. I did have Ninja Turtles, but
yes.
we can do Ninja Turtles.
I forgot to. Cody gets 6 choices. He picks Terminator.
No, okay. So my number 3 is I'm gonna finally get to do some Jim Henson. That's gonna be Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
I'm sorry about that.
Producing fiberglass.
I forgot to make the
we
switch.
Will design and sculpt a turtle in clay.
But the turtles? I mean, who doesn't love the turtles?
Yeah.
Right? Great pick.
Out of that shape.
Cody has 2, Terminator and
turtles. Turned into costumes. The heads have fiberglass skulls produced. They're filled with servo motors.
And again, I love how you put a person in a suit, but then you can have the face be automatronic or automatic, used by controllers and stuff like that.
With the aid of a small computer.
There's the one scene where you actually see the actor like inside the mouth.
You see his eye, yeah.
Creepy looking.
I love all this stuff.
How much fun would that be? Just getting in that suit.
That's gotta be so hot and feeling.
I know it's so much harder, but it looks just so much better. Because I know like the faces would stop working for hours, so that would cause like delays. But it just looks 10 times better than Michael Bay's CGI.
For, I believe this
yes.
Raphael for the Ninja Turtles, and as you can see, we packed all the motors.
I was actually happy we still went with this anyways, because I was watching this and I was like, oh, geeking out how cool all this was. I can't fathom wearing this on my head.
Batteries live in a battery pack on the actor's back inside.
Probably like a 25, 30 pound
through this multi-way connector.
Mask or helmet to put
all
on.
The motors are in the head, so it's just electrical connections. So there's a nice flexible coupling between the actor and the backpack.
It sucks too because that was Jim Henson's like last movie being alive, being a part of something, and he wasn't a big fan of it because it was too violent.
Too violent, but I mean he did like Dark Crystal is weird, and Labyrinth is that's a trip.
Yeah, the new movie's like all cartoon. I think the new Turtles movie, right? I think it's all cartoon.
Tracy's happy with Turtles.
Yeah.
I feel bad.
That was awesome.
The Terminator.
No, that's totally fine. Actually, as soon as he said Terminator 2, I was like, oh man, I wish I would have just kept Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, but I didn't want to go. I have all mine being people in suits, so I switched it like 2 weeks ago. But it's totally fine.
All right, and I didn't say howdy, caveman. So, all right, we made it through another round. We got 2 left. We're gonna play another one of those games. No one got the TV one, but I'll throw you guys a softball. Everyone in the chat, if you don't know this one, you need to know this one. So, put down in the chat if you know the special effects artist for that clip. I mean, it's a legend, so I already know the panel knows. All right. So
let's come up.
Bob, you're number 4. Well, not number 4, number 2.
2.
Going in reverse.
So I went with Demons, Night of the Demons. I went with Night of the Demons for my first one. And now I'm going to actually pull another Synapse title. It's Demons. So I went with Night of the Demons, now Demons. This movie kicks ass. It is a lot of fun. The second one's really good too. It's a badass steelbook too. But Demons is a ton of fun. Honestly, if you're in the chat and you haven't seen Demons, you need to check this movie out. It's a great movie.
A lot of fun.
It's a ton of fun. And the practical effects are out of this world in this movie. I mean, it's just ridiculous. I mean, when I rewatch this, I'll probably be foaming at the mouth at how nice the practical effects are. Adam, you like this one, right, Adam?
Oh, yeah, I have the same release. We'll actually just have the 4K and the Blu-ray from Synapse, but when I got this movie, I was like in love with it, especially like
everyone on the panel big fan of this one.
theater scene.
I have
Tim,
the,
I'm
two-pack or
gonna
whatever.
smack the hell out of you if you don't watch my movies that I pulled tonight. Tim, okay, I understand if you don't want to watch Mosquito, but you need to watch Demons. Okay, out of all them, you will like Demons.
For the soundtrack alone, I think Tim would love Demons.
I think Jim and Johnny are onto something. Tim needs to help me talk Tim into watching Demons tomorrow night.
Tomorrow night? That's a quick jump.
Yeah, it is. Or
But
tonight.
the effects look really cool.
Oh yeah, it's a badass movie. It's so much fun too. I mean, it starts a tiny bit slow but once you get like into it, it's nonstop and it's awesome.
I almost blind bought the who was it? Blue Underground, the 4K, or who is it?
No, Synapse Films.
Synapse.
It's a double feature, and it's such a good double feature of that 4K. If you could get it for like really cheap, like 30, even 35, 40. The special features, I haven't watched that version yet, but the transfer I heard on the 4K from Synapse is out of this world, like incredible. I mean, they do great work. But the final girl in this, if you want to call her final girl, she's also like very cute, and it's just a fun movie. Like the guy is really cool in it. It's just a good time.
May not be interested or no. Oh my goodness. But yeah, that's crazy.
It looks like Holland is hosting his first ever live stream tonight at 3 a.m. Eastern time.
Demons watch party at 3 a.m.
Whose channel, Holland?
Be there.
I guess it's going to be on Holland's channel.
So I'm the only one on the panel that hasn't seen it.
Yeah, I've seen.
Looks like it.
Yeah.
Jesus, man.
I blind bought it, but I'm glad I did.
Oh, you haven't seen it yet? Or
No, I have. I seen only the first one.
Okay.
But I bought that 4K Synapse double pack.
So the second one is very similar. It just takes place in an apartment complex. And recently, Ryan over at Disconnected said he actually prefers Demons 2 over Evil Dead Rise.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll have to check it
What's
out.
the connection point there?
Apartment, high rise,
Oh, okay.
Demons, stuff like
All
that.
right.
Yeah. So it's actually a huge connection between the two, I guess, because not too many like demon type of movies you could say take place in a high rise apartment complex type of thing. So condo building or whatever. So yeah, but I go Evil Dead Rise over Demons 2 personally, but I'll tell you what, Demons 2 is still a lot of fun too.
Tim needs to change his logo to TTF.
Tim
I
talks
already got a shirt. It stays TTT.
Tim talks feet.
Tim talks titties.
You take a magic marker to.
Tim talks titties, not Tim talks feet.
Oh my goodness. All right. So
What about TTO?
Oh, Tim talks orgies. Jesus, man.
TTO, not paid time off. TTO, Tim talks orgies. Yes.
So we got an answer to the question then.
TT, a lot of TTs over here.
Oh my goodness. So I guess I should see Demons.
Who doesn't like TTs?
If the rest of the panel saw, oh my god, gay orgies.
Gay orgies.
If the rest of the panel saw Demons, I guess I should check it out.
And the chat liked it too. So
Yeah, is it on any streaming? So I don't have to spend money in case I.
It's sometimes on Shudder.
Okay.
He's
Both-
got
both
it
of
on
them.
Shutter. Cody's on the Shutter. I would just blind buy the 4K if you're.
You know how I am though with certain horror. Like
It's expensive though, isn't it?
It's
The
like
4K?
you should be able to get it for like I mean you could probably get that on sale too for like $30, but for two movies with the slipcover too, that's a great deal for two 4K.
Yeah.
But it's
Oh,
probably
God.
like naturally $40 or 50 or something. But Tim, honestly, if you don't like it, I'll send you a Bubba Hotep blanket. So I'm telling you,
Bonus.
like,
Well, it's out there.
I don't do as well. So it's what's weird is I love Evil Dead, love it. And Evil Deads are incredibly violent, but some other franchises I don't do as well with the insane amounts of gore.
I wouldn't even call Demons crazy gory. Like Evil Dead's more gory than Demons, right, guys?
Demons has some gross shit in it though.
Yeah, it does for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
I agree,
can't
Cody.
imagine a world in where Tim doesn't at least appreciate demons. I can't honestly, like, speaking seriously, I just can't imagine a world where you don't like it.
All right, I trust you. I'll get it.
Rock and roll music, like it's awesome. It's so good.
Yeah, I don't see demons on
Mika
anything.
recommended. Mika is the seal of approval. I'm sorry. It's okay.
Mika.
Cherry on top.
Gotta
get it.
Mika came through a clutch tonight with that. Titties with James.
Excelsior.
Reviews in the Adam Titty Hunter.
Adam
He
the
actually
Titty
called
Hunter.
him Adam the Booby Hunter.
Yes, the booby hunter.
Bob must be getting a kickback for the blanket sales.
I hope so.
And,
I know.
And people greeting Mika. Happy to see you in here,
I
Mika.
should have earned a cut of all the reindeer game sales back in December.
All right, so we're on James now. We got
Yeah.
so tied up in demons.
So my next pick is Independence Day. I love this movie. I'm an Independence Day baby myself, actually. I'm born on 4th of July. So, I'm a little biased with my love for this film. But blowing up the White House and all of this is practical effects, a lot of it. So I really enjoyed that. I watch this movie every year on the 4th of July. The second one, don't like to talk about that, the sequel ever.
I didn't like it either. I like the first one.
But the first one there is a sequel, and it does not have Will Smith in it.
I was being rhetorical. There's a sequel?
Yeah. Cash
Yeah.
100%. But blowing up.
Yeah.
I love blowing up stuff in movies. So I've had a couple picks with that. And Independence Day falls right into that alley.
I especially love it because, again, miniatures. I love miniatures, and that is exactly what they used for the cities and the White House, and I love it so much.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Resurgence is a sequel, and I didn't like that. The sequel. The original is classic, though.
And this is another one, a good example of it blended practical and CGI.
The mixture is perfect. Yeah.
It was a great one.
I love that, though. There's something different when you're seeing like actual fire instead of CGI fire. And
yeah, I think fire is like a really hard one for them to make look good in CGI. You can't beat real explosions. Blow it up.
Right.
Drop real cars, crash real cars, blow up miniatures.
Yeah, I mean, like, I think in Tenet, Christopher Nolan nearly blows up a 747 plane because it was actually one cheaper for him to do it than the CGI, and it looks way better.
Yeah. I always love this shot of that boss, and he's like, "Oh shit."
This is not my day.
Not the guy from Mrs. Doubtfire.
Yeah.
And then the iconic White House shot.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, I love that choice. That is awesome.
Yeah, good one.
And the chat really dug that choice.
I
Good movie.
just watched Independence Day for the first time last year.
Oh, wow. So good. I mean, that speech, the president's speech at the end. Yeah, it's one of my favorites.
My grandma took me to go see it in theaters when I was a kid, and then after that, we went to KB Toys, and she got me the Independence Day toys.
Oh, perfect!
It was awesome. Yeah.
I love the Randy Quaid line and that for my generation.
So everyone, mark your calendars. July 4th. Make sure you sing James "Happy Birthday."
Yeah.
The sequel kicking into chat. And yeah, the White House blowing up, that was a big moment. And Adrian, no worries if you enjoyed the sequel. Every single movie has fans, and there's no shame in that.
I enjoyed the sequel, but it was nowhere near the first one. I think I was just happy to see Independence Day get a sequel. Yeah, return.
Yeah,
I genuinely believe that too. Even the worst, like what you might consider to be the worst of movies, there's somebody out there who likes it. There's something out there for everyone. Like every movie out there, even what you might consider the worst of movies. or
I
vice
mean,
versa.
I feel like the one person that loves Dunkirk, every single person on every stream shits on Dunkirk.
On Letterboxd got like a 3.7. I don't know why, but everybody seems to until I jumped into the YouTube community here, I thought everybody loved Dunkirk. Now I feel like everybody hates it. And I mean,
I've been attacked with Dunkirk so many times on streams that have nothing to do with Dunkirk.
I love it. I love it.
Thank you.
I didn't want to hear from Killer Ghost fans.
Sure, there's a fan of it out there somewhere.
Oh, yeah. Tony, right?
Tony loved Kill Her Goats.
I thought so.
Yeah. Tony,
Big promoter of it. Big promoter.
And that actually, Adam's been quoted saying that's his 6th favorite film of all time. Kill Her Goats.
6th favorite.
They knew how to sell that to people. Oh, Tony would just say no. Just no.
I wonder if Benicio seen Kill Her Goats. You know, you could have pulled Kill Her Goats for this stream. It was all practical.
What's up, man?
CG.
Harry Styles is in Dunkirk. Because of that, I'm out.
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah, that's right.
All right. Adam, what you got?
Okay, so let's see. Number 2.
Yes.
I'm going to go with one of my favorites, which happens to be a sequel. So fits Texas Chainsaw Massacre Part 2.
There you go.
The actual... This movie, great use of effects. The wax casting that Tom Savini did with basically Grandpa, Chop Top, LG, Leatherface, of course. There he is, the king. You know, he's my favorite male horror actor. Besides Linnea, she's my female. Bill Moseley is my favorite actor in horror. Chop Top, probably my favorite character ever. I mean, and that whole, it's all a mask with the steel plate and all that. They had to wax, put it on over. And, and the movie is just filled with this stuff, with the fake bloods and the makeup, everything. Savini is a master. So, and I don't know I know you don't like Texas Chainsaw Massacre Part 1, Tim, but this movie gets some popcorn, sit back, you can just laugh at this one. It's not overly gory.
No.
Adam, you know how I feel about the second. So I think Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the first one, it's a grimy film, but I think it works even better that way.
Yeah.
Much like Evil Dead 2, I am not a fan when you take a movie that's taken pretty seriously, like Evil Dead and Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and they make it super fucking stupid in the sequel. I'm not a fan of that at all. I hate that. So that's why I'm not a fan of Evil Dead 2 or Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. But I take stuff seriously in the horror movies for the most part. Like, especially if I see the original and it's taken seriously, and then you just make it really stupid and silly. Not a fan. But
yeah, well, it fits more of the time period though, because Texas 80s. Being part 70s, this being in the 80s, it was like perfect for what was going and selling in the 80s. This overly just cheesy effect kind of stuff, like and it works so well in this movie. So I can't say enough. I mean, we're talking effects. I'm not saying it's the greatest movie ever, I'm sure for some people, but it has great effects, great practical effects.
It is stupid in the fact that it's not like, it just doesn't take itself at all seriously. Like, that's what I mean by it's stupid. It's silly, stupid. Like, and I.
But
just
it went for that though. That's what it was going for. It wasn't going
for sure.
So.
But the thing, like, okay, so Return of the Living Dead, for example, that you go into that knowing it's going to be silly and stupid and corny and cheesy, and that's okay because I go into it expecting that. But a movie like Evil Dead 2, Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, when they're sequels, and I enjoyed the first one so much, I just feel like they're not. That's just my opinion, though. But yeah, I'm not at sea.
Ken gets it.
Yeah,
I like Chop Top with his.
Literally, the funniest thing about Ken and I don't know a single movie that Ken and I agree on in taste. Everything he hates, I love. Everything I love, he literally hates. Deep Impact. It just go on and on and on. Yeah.
So for Tracy, I can't remember. I think Blade Runner might have been pulled in the first stream. I think
it was.
Yeah, okay.
It was,
because Blade Runner is incredible. I love matte paintings, and that movie utilizes matte paintings a lot. So that's why that one's not in this stream. But Blade Runner, amazing.
Tim, I didn't send you that list for no reason, okay, Tim?
Yeah, I couldn't
Worked
remember
hard for
offhand.
that list.
And for everybody, Savini or Baker? What would you guys?
So it depends. If you want blood and guts, it's Savini. Anything else,
Yeah.
it's Baker or Winston.
Yeah, well, with the original, when he said
I'm a
Winston,
blood
that
and
was
guts
Winston all the way.
Winston,
I'm still probably going Baker here.
I'm going.
Yeah, same.
Yeah,
I'm going Baker.
American
Those are like the
Werewolf.
top three.
but Winston would be if Winston is still in there, I'd say Winston.
Oh God, yes. I mean, the freaking T-Rex alone just wins everything for me.
And Savini wins because for me, I'm way more into the blood and guts side of the horror. Friday the 13th, one of my, I mean, even though, I mean, come on, like Jason is Jason. Drop the mic.
Where does Bob land on the core?
I haven't seen the core, so I can't speak on the core.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of Freddy's Dead.
Freddy's Dead, Pam, yeah.
I'm not a fan.
Freddy's Dead is amazing.
Here's the thing with, okay, people got to understand too, though, every different strokes, different folks. Like, so for me, I'm not a fan of this silly, over the top, stupid humor, especially in a sequel where the first one was taken seriously. So that's just for me, but for most people, it works geniusly. Like Ken called it a masterpiece for that. You know, Evil Dead 2 is rated probably one of the best horror films of all time, but it doesn't work for me because that silly over-the-top humor doesn't work for me. But you take Killer Klowns from Outer Space, that's an original. It's an original idea. You go into that knowing what to expect. Like, so when it's an original, it's cool. When it's a sequel that the first one took itself seriously, that doesn't work for me 99%.
All right, so you could go into Army of Darkness, then it was pretty much advertised as its own thing and can stand on its own.
Yeah.
You don't need one. It picks up right after 2, but a lot of people, including me, just started at Army of Darkness. You could just watch it solo and pretend it's its own thing. So there
That's
you go.
where I started. I didn't even watch Evil Dead 1 or 2 before. I watched Army of Darkness first ever, like when I was a youngster. So
Tim told me I'm going to hate it, so.
They made no effort really to let people know that it was an Evil Dead movie at all. Like I found out, I don't know how I found out. I found it out like years later. I was like, this is an Evil Dead?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, like Sam Raimi and Bruce Campbell. I knew them from the movie Crime Wave. The Coen brothers and co-wrote the script for that, and so I knew those two guys. And then I saw Army of Darkness first, and then I didn't know I had to go back and see Evil Dead 2.
Yeah.
I'm going to shut up. I'm going to mute myself.
Bob's Gears.
We're gonna watch it one night, Bob. Late night, we're gonna watch Army of Darkness.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what? Do it on a night when I can, and I'll join you in a backstage watch along for it.
Let's do it.
Yes. My first watch of the franchise. Yes. A lot of people started with Army.
Hey Tim, earlier that we showed that picture of the was it Howling or what? And somebody gave the answer to it.
Cody.
Yeah.
I think it was Adam that did that.
Yeah, somebody. Yeah, he says there.
You know, I'm not a big fan of doing watch-alongs, especially for my first time watching a movie. But for Army of Darkness, I might enjoy it more if I did a watch-along with a bunch of big fans of it.
Well, everybody, talk over it. Though. I'd definitely watch Army of Darkness. It's fun.
I mean, even if people are talking, the story is not much. It's just fun. But yeah, why don't we dive into Steve's next choice?
Yeah, shout out to Crime Wave. Yeah. So number 2, this is also KNB effects. This is the famous scene from Misery. If you remember the scene where they replaced James Caan's legs and Kathy Bates with a sledgehammer. And she's been bad. She's got to teach him a lesson. So that
it makes me squirmish every time. Ugh.
Please don't do it.
I can handle this a lot more now than I could when I was younger. Just knowing that it's not his real legs, and
God.
You realize sometimes you could almost feel the pain through the screen, to sympathize. Oh my God, that would hurt. Oh. Yeah.
They didn't show the second one though. They cut that out.
you still hear it.
Right.
Oh man.
That's how I feel every time I roll my ankle. I just pictured that.
God, I love you.
Oh man, what a scene! What a scene! Yeah, Laren says hobbling.
Yeah.
Bob, I totally agree with you. Weekend at Bernie's 2 took the franchise in this totally silly direction.
But Weekend at Bernie's wasn't serious to begin with. So.
I love Weekend at Bernie's.
I do too.
My jam.
But I love Weekend at Bernie's. It's a lot of fun. But I just mean movies that take them, like originals that take themselves serious. Like if Scream 2 went all silly and stupid, I would have probably hated it.
Yeah, like watching. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Still makes me wince. Yeah.
That's probably why Scream is and always will be my favorite horror franchise, and why I enjoy Halloween so much in Friday the 13th. Because outside of like what Jason X and Jason Goes to Hell, Scream takes itself seriously throughout, for the most part, throughout all 6 films. It doesn't get silly or really stupid or over the top, and neither does Halloween necessarily. So
because they're consistent. They're consistent.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
I guess, and I'm not saying make the same movie. I understand you want to do something differently than the original, but for me, it doesn't work. But that's just me. Out of probably many, 90% of people would love it. So that's just me.
Yeah,
to each their own.
And I don't mean any disrespect. It's just like I get a lot of shit for that, and I'm like, but I just doesn't work for me. I love the original. I think they're great. I just go into these movies and I'm like, you know what? I appreciate the original. I don't like the sequel.
I love tonal shifts. Like I personally, I'm hoping the next Evil Dead goes sillier again. Not like Army of Darkness level, but a little bit more comedy to it. We've gotten a couple of pretty serious ones. I want another kind of
campy.
Yeah, there was a little bit in it with like the eyeball and stuff, but there wasn't as much campy fun as I was hoping.
Okay, even Scream 3 being silly with some aspects, some of the cameos and stuff, it still at the end of the day takes itself seriously as a movie. Though. Like it doesn't get stupid silly like Evil Dead 2 where you got the fucking thing dancing outside in the front. Like doesn't work for me.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean at the end of the day, all the Scream movies end seriously, like they take themselves serious. There's funny moments, sure, humor and comedy and banter and whatnot, but yeah,
I'll be right back.
Yeah. But it's still toned seriously. So, but that's just me. I mean, but
yeah,
started this "What's Grinding Bob's Gears" thing. So,
the people who say that Scream's a comedy, it's not. That movie's legit scary. It was. Especially,
I was
when it came out.
I was 7 when I first saw Scream. That scene with Drew Barrymore scared the living shit out of me at 7 years old. I was terrified.
I think for a first time watch, that scene is still scary to people.
Scream,
I hate Scream 3.
I love Scream 3.
She was advertised to be a star of the movie, and then they did that. Like
sorry, Laren. I'd be curious to hear. I'm gonna have Laren on Tuesday night. We're gonna have a whole discussion. It's gonna turn into a discussion about Evil Dead 2 instead of Steel Books.
All right, Cody, your turn.
All right, I'm going back to Rick Baker, and my number 2 is going to be 1984's Gremlins.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yes.
Critters,
For
Munchies,
example,
Gremlins.
Gremlins. These mechs right here.
So this clip I got, it's a little
Gremlins 2.
It's a mix. He talks
yeah.
about the first.
This one's a Mary.
But
both great.
About 2. I just thought it was cool as hell.
Gremlins. I turned Gremlins down numerous times. Gremlins 2 because I wasn't all that interested.
Gremlins 2 is like highly underrated.
It is. I love
Gremlins
2.
Done before. And
it's a good one.
Already established by
Bob hates Gremlins
Yeah,
2.
no, I enjoy Gremlins 2 because once again, Gremlins is not taken seriously itself like the first one. So it's not like the second one is that much.
I didn't know. Phoebe Cates' story about her dad is pretty serious.
Well, and you know what is like? She basically tells people that Santa's not real. I never caught that onto that when I was a kid. And I loved Gremlins when I was a little kid. I mean, I still do, but I never caught on to that there was no Santa. I was just like, oh, wow, that sucks for her dad.
Yeah, we need to talk about Gus liking bodies. That's
I like bodies.
6 versions of Daffy.
Shame.
And 6 versions.
But I love all the mini monster movies that Adam and Cody are pulling tonight.
Right? It's great. It's a great use of special effects.
And I couldn't grab the clip because there was more on 2, surprisingly, like behind the scenes stuff than there was for 1. The one scene for 2, it was all like miniature gremlins. They filmed it as a miniature. I'm like, that's so fucking awesome. But, yeah, we got the gist. It's all puppets. It's all animatronics. That shit's awesome.
It would be CGI today.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I mean, yes, it takes itself, like Ken said, it's serious horror, but Gremlins is also extremely silly. Like, I mean, some of the crap that the Gremlins do is really funny, but I enjoy both Gremlins movies, not nearly as much as the first one. I mean, the first one is just a blast.
I love both of them too. I love when the Gremlins are at the movie theater and the bar in the first one.
Yeah.
You know, like all of the Gremlins, like there's so many puppets. I don't know how they duplicated that many or if they made that many or not, but it's awesome.
I agree with Ken that even though there is comedic moments, the first Gremlins takes itself pretty serious for the most part. Like it's Gremlins 2 gets way more wacky than the original Gremlins.
I love all the Phoebe Cates talk right now. I love Phoebe Cates.
Kept me up for night for real.
The day Fast Times at Ridgemont High. Yeah.
My favorite part in the Gremlins movie is Hulk Hogan at the movie theater. Best part.
Venice, if you like Phoebe Cates,
man.
If you like Phoebe Cates, go check out Private School, Venetia.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Right. Some good bareback riding in that too.
Well, second one has Christopher Lee in it though. Gremlins 2, the legend.
To play that game again too, we did Rob Bottin, Rick Baker, and Robert Hall, right? Because I got a good one based off the thumbnail. Who knows this guy right here? Leave it down in the comments. That's
Luke Skywalker.
Huh?
This is Luke Skywalker.
Han Solo.
It's a big one, guys. He's a big one. I went with I have a really obscure one after. Super obscure. No one's gonna get it. But that one is super. Come on, people. Star Wars. It was May the 4th. But all right.
I've never seen it.
I'm forgetting his name.
Oh yeah, you got to change your name again to dude who hasn't seen Star Wars. There we go. Yes.
See, I hate that. Like that pissed me off though when Cody got attacked for not seeing Star Wars. I'm like, who gives a shit? I was like, I can't stand that shit when people. It's like, who gives a fuck? He hasn't seen the damn movie.
I was on the wrong side of the tracks that day, guys.
Yeah,
I wasn't in my territory.
Right? You're like, whoa, sorry.
I haven't seen Star Wars and I have no interest in it. Sorry. I mean, not sorry though.
Why is it when I see Phil Tippett, I just want to say Drillbit Taylor? That's like all I keep reading is Drillbit Taylor.
I like Drillbit Taylor.
So do I. That's John Hughes' last written movie.
All right. So we'll head on to the final round. Killer pick so far. I kind of dreading this next one because I know what it is for Bob.
I've got.
Oh,
yes!
Oh, man, I'm dreading this.
Got Ark. All right.
I love that.
Terrifier 2.
Okay.
Yes.
This is only behind the scenes stuff, so it's not as disgusting as in the movie, but I'm watching this and I'm like, do I really want to watch this movie? And I think not.
Why would you not pull up some of the clips from the actual movie? How dare you?
There is parts.
It's okay, Tim. He's wearing a Goonies shirt, so it's fun for the whole family.
This is about the special effects. I like how they did it.
Double glare.
But yeah, that stuff's fascinating, but it's disgusting.
The scene on the bed, all the practical effects with that scene are just remarkable.
That's in here. That's in this clip.
Sweet.
It's more of a comedy than the first.
No, Ken, we're gonna have a talk tonight. I probably this was too long. I do probably prefer the original Terrifier. I don't know. They're different though. Like this just it's.
I like the gore more in this one.
The gore is great.
More
It's just
gory.
that this movie is too long. It's
I like the actress in the second one a lot.
So did you guys?
She's a great final girl. I really like her, and Tim talks titties. You know.
Did you guys see how they accomplished that though? They had the blood running through his arms. So
arm jacket?
Yeah, that's cool. Sometimes it's the simplest solution.
All right, but hang on, the scissors.
Oh yeah, here we go.
I missed that. We can do this again.
This was incredible, and they showed all this at the end after the movie.
Yeah.
Oh God! See, I'm watching this and I'm like, "What? I want to watch this movie."
Hilarious.
Yeah.
That's nothing compared to what happened.
I know. It's like this is nothing, Tim, compared to what happens to this poor lady.
Like it's so bad.
Wow.
Yeah.
There you go. And that's nothing either. Like it gets worse for her.
They're not selling me on this movie at all. Like even remotely.
I don't know.
If you love Bambi, you're
Yeah, for sure. I mean, they're not great stories. So, did you guys think that Terrifier 2, as fun as it was, definitely didn't need to be 2.5 hours, though?
No, it didn't.
I agree.
And it's fun, but I don't need 2.5 hours.
Well, and you know what made it long too was the whole Chris Jericho stuff, and I actually really liked Chris Jericho in the movie when they were at the
near the end.
the sane asylum at the end.
Okay, yeah.
But I really liked him in it. But I was like, dang, they really didn't really.
And the clown cafe stuff, I was like, what the fuck is going on? I mean, it's cool. I like the glasses, but the end, like, so little spoilers alert. It sounds like everybody except for Tim has seen this one, but like when it gets like to the superpower stuff, I was just like, it started to lose me. I was like, we're going too far now, because I enjoyed Terrifier 2. Terrifier is because he was human, and then I feel like they just take it to a whole new element in Terrifier 2. I feel like movies that struggle with an identity bother me, and I feel like that's the sequels to Halloween. They don't know what Michael is. Is he human? Is he not? And with Terrifier 2, it's like, is he human or is he not? What are we going to find that out in the third one?
I feel like it's about to get much weirder too.
Yeah. I just hope they can identify who he is. Because I like my movie, I need to know like what this killer is. At least with Ghostface, you know it's a human underneath the mask. Like I just want to know with Jason, you know he's like immortal. You know what I mean? He's not gonna die. But
Tony liked all the gore.
Wow.
Yeah, Tony.
Tony, you bad boy.
Throw it.
The gore's like it's so over the top. It's like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Right.
I wonder if Tim would have gotten a copyright if he played the Clown Cafe song.
Tony likes gore.
Tony likes gore.
I don't know. He's not third person.
Why do I feel like it's not Tony? We should give him a call.
Right.
Make sure he's okay.
I don't think I've ever heard Tony talk about himself in the third person.
I know,
Right?
I have either. So I'm gonna message Tony and make sure.
Tony likes gore.
Did his wife come down to the basement for the first time ever and took over?
Yeah.
I'll tell the church group tomorrow.
All right.
Well,
Tony's going to recommend a Terrifier 2 screening for a church.
Tony gave it a standing ovation when he was there.
This is really Tony C. So I messaged Tony and he said he put, where's that? Okay, so I think it's Tony, unless his wife had.
Tony's been up too late.
Yeah.
My goodness. All right. You guys picked a lot of gory shit. No 30s and 40s for me, damn it.
Not from us.
No.
Yeah, different panel.
Yeah. That was your first stream.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, James. I can't remember what your last one was, so go ahead. What is it?
Yes, the dude may have not seen this movie, but Star Wars, the first one, A New Hope, the end scene, the trench battle scene with Luke blowing up the Death Star is my final pick. Lots of miniatures. Tim loves the miniatures. I love the miniatures. I'm pretty sure like George Lucas's wife at the time, I think, helped out with a bunch of this and kind of like saved the film because they were running out of money, and she kind of put in the overtime on this and saved the film. So my parents took me to like the first Star Wars celebration ever in 1999. You know, too young to have seen this in theaters when it came out, but Star Wars is one of my favorite go-to films just to put on the screen whenever I don't want to take something too serious.
Yeah, that's a good choice. God, I haven't watched the Star Wars in a little while. Like, it's been a bit. May 4th comes, I take pictures of Star Wars, but I haven't watched the Star Wars in a while.
All right.
I just went and saw Return of the Jedi in theaters, and that was fun. That was a lot of fun. I did that last weekend. So
I think Tony and Ken's favorite movie of all time, like number one,
Empire.
Empire Strikes Back.
I like Return of the Jedi better than Empire. I'm one of the weird Star Wars fans in that way, in that sense. But I love all the originals. I tricked my grandma into buying me the special editions on VHS when I was a little kid. I told her I didn't have the Star Wars movies, and that was she hit the panic button and bought me the special edition at Blockbuster that night. So, sorry, Grandma, but I ended up getting those, and I still have them in my collection, the VHS. So that's pretty cool.
That's actually how I ended up in Mid-Levolution, is I lied and told them that Empire Strikes Back was my favorite movie of all time.
Nice. That's my chance now. I just gotta change my number 2 to number 1, I guess.
I think
I love
Baker,
Empire.
Yeah, I think Rick Baker and Rob Bottin worked in the cantina scene in the original Star Wars, and a lot of people probably know, but the original Star Wars wasn't called A New Hope. Episode 4 originally, it was just called Star Wars.
Star Wars,
They didn't really have sequels at the time.
I got a question that's, sorry, I didn't ask this on my poll, but I remember when Terrifier 2 was coming out and they started like GoFundMe for it. Do you guys all remember that?
Yeah.
And they said it was going to be for some huge thing that was going to be like bigger, 12,000 times bigger than the first one, and they were going to kill like 1 billion people or something like that. I don't know where that massive budget went, because outside of the clown cafe scene, like they never did anything crazy in that movie outside of like singular kills. So I'm just curious if like why he said that and then never did anything with it, I guess. I don't know. Like but you guys remember the GoFundMe where he was like, we're trying to get this scene. I guess it just didn't work out and they couldn't do that scene.
Oh, that's really cool.
Awesome.
That is really cool.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Girl.
That is awesome.
If I knew someone that was part of making Terrifier 2, maybe I would have watched it. But,
right?
People lie to get more money.
Yeah, I feel like that's what happened in Terrifier 2, because I didn't see that happen, anything like that. What they were explaining was going to happen. Unless it was the clown cafe scene.
Was there perks to this, though? Like, was it people donate and you get perks?
I don't think.
Yeah, I think it was like an Indiegogo or not. Kickstarter.
Yeah, but what do you get? Because I didn't hear about getting anything if you donated towards that.
Yeah, like you got like T-shirts and stuff like that.
Okay.
And this was a long time ago,
dude.
They've been working on Terrifier 2
5 years ago. Maybe?
Yeah, forever. Yeah.
4 or 5. And then they shut down during COVID. So it was like, this started in like 2018, 2019.
For all you know, a chunk of the money could have went to because they shut down.
Yeah.
And then making a movie post-COVID is very hard to keep everything safe, everybody safe, all the supplies they need. It adds a huge.
You know what? That might be the reason. I think I remember hearing that that they cut that's why they didn't do that scene is because of COVID. Maybe I know, like even in Creed, Michael B. Jordan had to do CGI people in the audience, like because he couldn't get people because of COVID. Even now, even 3 years after the initial onslaught of COVID, we're still dealing with effects in movies not being able to, like people still wearing masks on set and not being able to do certain scenes.
But 2.5 hours, man, you got to pay people to make a film that long. You know, they have to work on all those shots, and you know the cost goes up. And I would have been better if it had been less than 2 hours long. It would have made a better movie, I think, overall. But the gore is really great.
I am with Cody though. I do like the final girl, and it sounds like she's going to come back for the third one. So
I think that the runtime is part of what pushed me off of that too, because
yeah,
I don't mind long movies, but if it's already something I'm like on, and then you tell me it's a 2.5 hour runtime.
I know a lot of people have talked about this. I actually prefer watching a long movie in the theater, and the reason why is because I'll sit down and I can't pause it. I can't go. I'm not checking my phone. If I'm at home watching a long movie, I might get bored and tune out and go pause it and go eat or something like that. But if I'm at the theater, I'm sitting down and I'm watching it. Like I'm in it whether I like it or not. So I actually like long movies in the theater because if it's 3 hours, it's over in 3 hours. If I'm at my home, that might take me 8 hours to get through.
Yeah, turn the phone off in the theater and just watch the movie.
And it honestly doesn't feel like 2.5 hours. It feels a little long, but not 2.5 hours long.
Yeah, I mean, I had a good time too. I saw Terrifier 2 with my buddy Codebreaker and Magic Hands, who's in the chat. Like it was a good time because of that reason.
So, do I watch Terrifier 2 or Demons?
Both.
Both?
Both?
That's a little pushing it here.
No, Demons. Watch Demons.
All right.
Have you seen the first Terrifier, Tim?
No.
No, Art the Clown. He's a kind of legendary in the gore world.
I personally like Terrifier 2 better than.
Yeah, I did too. Yeah.
Johnny says both. Also, Mika says Demons. So, all right, I'll have to. Demons.
This Demons, if you're gonna watch one, but Mika and I will be holding you accountable to watch both. Oh wait, nope, Johnny will be as well. So everybody will. We'll check back in with you in like a couple weeks to make sure you've seen them both. And that
when I watch those, you guys have to watch an old like 30s movie that I pick.
That's fine. I can handle that. Just don't make me watch Dunkirk.
Yeah. Also, Art the Clown was also in All Hallows Eve. Have you ever seen that movie? Yeah. It's not the same actor that's in Terrifier and Terrifier 2.
I got Cody saying in the chat.
You're fine.
All right.
Yeah, I saw the guy who originally played Art in All Hallows Eve just didn't want to come back. He's like, oh no, I just did it for a friend, and he just didn't want to come back. And now Art's huge.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I'll watch if you're talking 1930s. I'll check out like Monkey Business or Scarface from the 1930s.
I know you will, Mika. You watch everything. You're awesome. Yeah. Mika's seen everything. It feels like.
I said that before. I feel like she has. Tim, have you seen that 1932 Scarface?
The original Scarface? Yeah, I've seen that.
Did you like it?
I like the 82 is it? 81? I like the 80s one.
Yeah, I like that one better too, but 32 is good too.
Adam, your turn.
All right, on my final pick of the night, we're gonna go with a Peter Jackson classic. His splatter period. I prefer the name Dead Alive versus Braindead. This, I don't know what you were going to be showing behind the scenes. This movie, he incorporates, stop motion, puppeteering. What else? Like, just besides prosthetic and makeup use and everything else, but it's one of my favorite, like, all-time just goriest horror movies ever, and it's silly. Of course, so Bob, you may not like. I don't know. Have you seen this one, Bob?
I haven't. No.
Yeah, you may not like it because it's stupid, but it is great. They even used that baby in the park with an actual 2-year-old toddler in a bodysuit, crawling around like doing the stuff. So they used all types of practical effects in this. And I don't know if you got it, Tim, the end scene with Lionel and the lawnmower and everything, but
I've never seen this, so I didn't know what to grab. So I kind of just grabbed behind the scenes stuff.
The people that have seen this movie will know what I'm talking about. There's the ending is iconic. They used 300 liters of blood, which is basically 80 gallons of fake blood for that. Yeah, 80 gallons of blood used in that particular moment and scene. I don't even know how many fake prosthetic limbs. I mean, you got to see Dead Alive, people.
Yeah.
You may not find this movie very easily, though. This thing is super hard to find, but
that Blu-ray's out of print. And
yeah, it's so out of print. I'm hoping the 4K comes eventually after whatever Peter Jackson's doing. Meet the Feebles and Bad Taste were another great example of this period when he was doing that. And this, I think he was on point. Like, he hit his stride with Dead Alive.
Yeah.
Adam, is Meet the Feebles better than Meet the Deedles?
No. Well, I like Meet the Feebles better myself. You know, Meet the Feebles is like a dirty Muppets movie. Very dirty.
Tim's favorite movie of all time is Meet the Deedles.
Oh, they're not close to the same. If you like Jim Henson and the Muppets, though, you might like Meet the Feebles, but it's not a family movie, or don't bring the kids.
Yeah,
you know what I'm talking about, right? So, Dead Alive, though, that's my number one. It's like, it even claims to be the most goriest film of all time.
Yeah.
That cover is iconic. I remember seeing it every time I went into the the movie rental store. That was always on the shelf.
I do remember.
And you know what? Fun fact, my brother is the one that got me on this movie. I didn't want to watch it when I was a kid walking through Blockbuster. I'm like, no, bro, Chad, no. And he's like, no, we got to watch it. And then I'm like, oh my Lord, this thing is great. The Sumerian rat in it. Like, there's so many good parts.
So I recommend that footage I got was part of, there's like a 25-minute, it's a news segment from New Zealand while they were still filming the movie. So I doubt any of that footage actually made it onto the Blu-rays or DVDs. So it's worth just check YouTube. It's a cool little segment. Like I said, I didn't know what to grab specifically since I never saw it.
Yeah, Cinestalkers always had that poster if you know that channel, Cinestalker, and those New Zealand accents will kind of throw a lot of people off because they're really strong. But yeah, I love the classic line from that movie with the priest, whatever. He said he kicks ass for the Lord. You know, he did that big line.
Yes,
never forgotten that line. Great movie.
I just enjoy it, and it gets better for me, the movie, like, because I liked it, and then I started like loving it, and then like when I got that Blu-ray and I watched it again, because I had a bootleg DVD of it, and I just fell in love again. I was like, this movie is so good, I love it. So yeah, that's my number one.
You also did the Frighteners, also with Michael J. Fox.
That's a fun one. I like
that's a good movie. Frighteners is a good one.
So I feel like I might more so want to watch Dead Alive. Like I said, I'm not crazy on tons of gore, but that based off I like Frighteners, I feel like I might like that one more than Terrifier. I don't know.
Oh fuck, Tim. No, Tim. I think you'll enjoy Demons. I do not think you'll like Terrifier.
Tony bootleg.
I bootleg it. Yeah.
Hey, I don't care about. If I need a movie, I'll get a movie regardless. I used to record them on TV, so to me, recording on your VHS 3 different movies on there is the same thing as going out and buying it wherever I need to. I don't care.
Silliness. We're not talking about bootlegs tonight.
Talking about boot what?
Is Cody, you're a big fan of Terrifier 2 then? Like, I love it? Okay, gotcha. Yeah. But
I actually almost wore a Terrifier 2 shirt today.
But realistically speaking, do you actually think Tim would like it though? I don't. I don't.
I think he would like Demons more.
I do think
I feel like it's. I mean, I don't want to make anyone mad, but it's along the same lines of an Evil Dead.
Exactly. I think Tim would really like Demons. I do not think you would enjoy Terrifier 2 at all, Tim.
Okay.
That motorcycle, the motorcycle scene alone in Demons, like when he's going on the theater, like that's total like Evil Deadish more than.
You know how Tim, you know how you tell me when I'm going to like something or won't like something?
Yeah.
I unfortunately can promise you that you will not enjoy Terrifier 2 in this slightest. But
all 7.5 hours of it.
Yeah, that's okay though, because Cody and I enjoy it.
I know.
Hey, what's up, Mel?
All right. So next up, we're on Steve now, right? Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, I forgot to show Misery last time, but yeah, I did have the movie. But my number one though, this is we talked about Tom Savini earlier. In 1978, he did one of his first movies. It was Dawn of the Dead, and I love the scene. I don't know if he has Roger when Roger goes zombie here. They show it there.
It's a mix of kills.
Yeah. Yeah. The one thing, Tom Savini didn't quite get the makeup effects right, as far as how they looked on camera. But the one big scene in the movie is when Roger finally
There he is. There he is.
Yeah, Tom Savini.
Yeah, that's Tom in the movie. So.
Yep. Did the makeup effects, and he made a cameo as one of the bikers. Yeah.
Yeah. So I just grabbed a bunch of zombies being killed.
Yeah, but I love the scene with Roger. You know, they have these 4 main characters, and one of them gets bit by a zombie, and then they show the classic scene where the sheet falls off his face, and that's when the makeup effects look really great, and that somehow they got that right. But a lot of his effects, a lot of the characters look kind of like a gray instead of he was kind of new to the effects game, so they didn't quite get that right as for how it would look on camera. Didn't quite look right, but he got that right though. I thought the makeup on Roger was really great, and Ken Foray is watching him. He tells him as soon as he turns zombie, to take him out. Basically, Roger told Ken Foray's character to get rid of him. At that point when once he turned, and that's they didn't show it there, but you hear the gunshot, and Roger's gone.
Is anyone a bigger fan of the remake of Dawn of the Dead over the original?
I like the remake too. Yeah.
I am. I'm a fan.
And I'm not. I enjoy the original. I think it's a good movie, but I just love the remake.
That's my hot take as well. I do like the remake better than the first one. I think the first one, when this happens, like this question, I like to think of like what was that movie like when it was out in theaters in that time period when it came out versus like Dawn of the Dead for our modern generation.
Right.
And like it's probably a similar experience for them in that time period with a similar experience for Zack Snyder's Dawn of the Dead, but I do like the newer one better myself.
I just think the pacing too, like it's so fast paced in the first 10 minutes of Dawn of the Dead,
that opening, man. Oh my god.
It's a great opening, yeah. That's a lot of CGI, but yeah, it looks
I remember watching, like my buddy had called me, this was freshman year or something like that, 8th grade. And it was on, I think AMC, they were showing the first 10 minutes of it as a promo. And I remember seeing it and I was so excited to watch it. My dad took me to go see it and absolutely loved it.
Yeah. I just remember when I was a kid though, going to shopping malls at that time, even the early 80s, they looked a lot like the 70s. There's that carryover. And a lot of malls don't look like that now. Except like there's one in one of the older malls that I go to now. And there's like a back way that leads to the exit area. And it looks just like the 78 Dawn of the Dead. And that's the only part of the mall that looks like that now. But when I was a kid, that they all look like just like they did in the late 70s.
And you get Johnny Cash too.
Yeah.
In the remake, I mean, so good. And then
I like the remake too. I mean, Tom and Ken Forey made a cameo in that movie as well. Just George Romero didn't like the fast zombies as much, but he liked the movie overall. He didn't like the fact that they could run.
Maybe this is another hot take, but I guess I'm filled with them all night. But honestly, fast zombies. Like fast zombies that run are terrifying. Like that's
it's scary.
Really scarier. I think it's way better done. Like I think it's well done. Like Dawn of the Dead and a couple other ones. Like I think it's pretty cool. Like I know World War Z gets a lot of hate, but even those zombies are pretty fast. I mean, wild.
That's a lot of CGI.
I'm not in love with
climbing each other.
I'm not in love with
Fly with the Wall.
Yeah,
Like Ants.
Train to Busan. There you go. I mean,
Good job, Tim.
that's the one. I mean, they've run and they are terrifying. And there's just 28 Days Later is not really zombies, but
it's kind of zombies dead.
Virus. It seems like most people have either their favorite slow zombie or fast zombie. Like you either preferred one or the other. So
yeah. Greg Nicotero liked to make it kind of mid-paced. And The Walking Dead, he kind of made them because he's a big George Romero. You know, was his idol. He's actually in Day of the Dead. You know, he's one of the soldiers in Day of the Dead, and you know, so he kind of had mid-pace. They weren't real fast, but they weren't slow either. But
the fact that I'm so sorry for
no. I mean, like the newer zombies, I guess when they're fresh, they can move better. But once they get older and they get more, they don't move as well. So that's when they slow down. That's how Nicotero kind of treats those characters in The Walking Dead.
Yeah, and I mean, when you think about zombie movies, Train to Busan had people crying at the end of it.
Yeah.
For you to watch a zombie movie and have tears in your eyes as you're walking away, that's impressive.
Yep.
Peninsula kind of sucked though.
Okay, I was gonna say, Tim, you've seen Train to Busan, right?
Yeah, Train to Busan is fantastic. Peninsula carried like nothing that made the first movie great. It was we're talking about practical effects. That movie has some of the worst CGI.
The cars, like that car scene, the CGI car stuff.
Oh, it's so bad.
Terrible.
I actually, so when it comes to Peninsula, I think the first hour and a half or hour and 15 is not great, but the last 20 minutes of Peninsula is great. But it takes a while to get there.
It had no business being a Train to Busan movie.
It really wasn't anything like it. I mean, especially when you come out with Train to Busan, it was so hard to live up to that.
And they're making an American version now, right? Like Train to New York or something like that.
Oh, really?
I think for like a remake of Train.
Yeah, American remake. Yeah.
My thought process on that is the American infrastructure for trains is an absolute joke. It doesn't translate here. We don't have trains as fast as them. We don't have tracks all over the place. Our train system is ancient. Unless they just fictitiously add a whole bunch of, we have high-speed trains and tracks all over, it's going to be dumb as hell. I wish we had more trains than we do, but United States doesn't like to invest in trains, I guess. I don't know.
So we got Zombieland references, though. Those are fast zombies.
Yeah, Zombieland's fun.
Yeah,
I enjoy them.
Talk about cardio, Zombieland.
Shaun of the Dead was a good. I love Shaun of the Dead.
Shaun of the Dead's great too. Yeah.
But if you picked a Day for this, I would have picked the guy being ripped apart. That scene is crazy in Day. But all right, we will hop on to Cody's, which is the final pick.
All right, so my final pick is going to be a sequel, and I want to put a spotlight on Kevin Yeager. He doesn't get much love, and that's going to be Child's Play 2.
Okay.
Dolls. I think the fact that it's a toy and
I could grab from that behind the scenes
has had dolls or had sisters
section.
That had dolls,
There was a lot to grab for this movie. I think I'm kind of with Ken that I like 2 more than 1.
Yeah, 2's my favorite. 2's my favorite movie of all time.
Yeah, and that's true. You would like 2 more than 1 also. Yeah. There's something about the whole ending in the toy factory. It's just a lot of fun.
Well, and it's just crazy. It takes 5 people to control his face,
And this package doesn't.
Tell me why I could see Cody dressing up as a really good Chucky doll. With the shoes and everything.
Every Tuesday night.
And Chucky designer Kevin Yeager to bring
I feel like you have a pair of a good guy doll pajamas.
I do.
Right?
I do. I got them from Target. It was like a onesie.
Yeah. I think all 3 Child's Plays are great. The first 3, I think they're all good. I honestly like the first one too.
Just a pretty face.
Yeah, I have the first 3. I don't know if I'm gonna pick up any of the ones after the first 3 though.
The next 4. Tim,
I might pick up Bride, and that's about it.
Bride, Chucky.
I love them all.
You're gonna get that green.
I'm gonna grab.
Already did, yeah.
Cody, did you get the big one, the 200?
I did. Yeah, I have no use for pins, but when it comes to Chucky, I like to put my money towards Chucky because it's been like I know you see a lot of Chucky stuff out there, but he gets the short end of the stick when it comes to these horror icons.
Yeah. No, when you love something as much as you do a Child's Play, like that's a good, you want to call it investment, but that's money well worth spent, like money well spent, in my opinion. I mean, and you're getting a lot for it, at least. It is expensive, but you do get 4 movies, posters, like 8 posters or something like that.
Yeah, it's only like $10 more than the first 3 expensive bundle that they had.
Exactly, and you get an extra movie, so
an extra movie plus the extra stuff.
Yeah, I got the first one. I got like the $220 one, so I feel like I'm gonna get the same one on this one eventually, as long as it doesn't sell out right away. But I don't think the other one sold out right away either. I think it was still in stock for a while, so maybe still is.
Yeah, and I wanted to talk about Kevin Yeager because he's done. He also created the Crypt Keeper from the Crypt, and he also did Freddy from Nightmare on Elm Street 3, Dream Warriors. So he's done a lot of good stuff, but nobody really talks about him. And he also did all the effects for Face Off. He did all the effects for the Bill and Ted movies. So he's done a lot of stuff. He just doesn't get the love I feel he deserves. But that's me being a huge Chucky fan. So
Brad Dourif as well.
Yeah.
I think it's cool that
good pick.
Child's Play 2 is your favorite movie of all time. See, I like it when people have unique picks that you wouldn't naturally hear other people say.
Yeah, and you know what, Bob? It's because I like that too, because you know that there's always a story behind it. So like if someone's like, "Oh, my favorite movie is
Star
Wars," it's like, I mean, maybe not Star Wars, but like
back on Ken and Tony.
Lost
Ark.
Yeah, it's like there's really, or if someone's all like, like my favorite movie's Ben-Hur, you're like, oh, okay, you saw it and you liked it, or blah blah blah. But it's like if you're like, yeah, my favorite movie is,
Town
Leprechaun 3, you're like, okay, I want to hear that story.
Yeah, why?
Exactly. It's cool. That's what I love about that too. Like, what's the first movie you remember seeing in theaters? There's always a story behind it. Like, some people don't remember, and absolutely, it's a good time hearing different stories like that. But I feel like I came after Tony and Ken now, and I feel bad.
I have some of the most generic top 3 imaginable, but they're classic for a reason. So,
dude, at the end of the day, even if you have the most generic, it's still yours, and you still have a story behind why you love those two. They're still meaningful to you. So,
freaking Jurassic Park, Ghostbusters, and Die Hard, those indie movies.
Can't wait for the 80s, Tim, whenever that happens this summer.
Right.
Total
low budgets.
I feel like I know Tim's like top 10 by heart now. We're close to it.
The 80 is a tournament. It's going to be, or not tournament, but top 25. That's going to be so much fun.
Everyone on YouTube is going to do that.
I'm in the doghouse now with Tony and Ken.
Can't wait.
I've had so many talks with. I've gotten in trouble so many times with Mid-Levolution.
All right, so that was actually all of them. I'm gonna throw out a really hard. First throw out a super easy one, which everyone knows who that one is. If someone doesn't, I'm sorry, I should. But this is one. I'll be shocked if a single person knows this one.
I think I know what this is.
You might know the movie, but the actual special effects artist.
Okay. Yeah.
Which there wasn't. I mean, he did some pretty good stuff back then, but we're talking the 20s there. So
there's Luke Skywalker.
I'm already dreading my 80s list.
Tim, do you have a month that you plan on doing that or no? Pressure to ask you that.
I'm aiming towards the stream probably being late summer, so maybe I'll start the month long. Everyone get me their list. Maybe August, and have the stream in September, or July and August. I don't know. One of those.
We need 200 lists this time.
It's possible.
200.
Maybe 160.
He's gonna be popular, though.
Tim's channel's grown now. Everybody who did a list last time, let's get 40 more.
You guys all did get Metropolis. That's it.
Yeah. Yep. That's a problem.
Pretty. So the person is. Well, I have to take off. Ernest Kuntzman. No, almost no one was gonna get that, but I. Yes, he did the special. That movie is incredibly important to special effects, early special effects.
Oh, yeah.
Metropolis did stuff no other movie was even kind of coming close to trying. That movie is very important special effects. But it's also a silent film that not a lot of people have seen overall, so it's a great movie though.
Yeah.
Needs to be a top 100. Oh my god, that'll be like a 7-hour stream.
Right.
Now.
Two parts, top 50.
You just do a 24-hour stream that night, a day.
But yeah, that's gonna be a hell of a fun stream. And
it always is. Those the three you've done so far.
I like 80s,
and they're only getting better. And the 90s obviously is more personal too. You obviously got more lists, so it makes it a lot more fun too. But 80s is going to be difficult. I feel like you definitely could get more than 160 lists for 80s.
That's possible. Definitely possible. Before we go to everybody's outros and what they got going on, I'm just going to quickly, before I forget and Huck yells at me, 2 hours and 20 minutes in, but my channel will have 2 streams this month, which is very rare for my channel. But on Sunday, the 21st, Collectors Club, episode 3, first time on my channel. That's the only thing I have to plug. I think. Maybe. Besides Bob mentioning what Bob's going to mention. But yeah, let's head around the panel here and everyone just, what you got going on? What you want to say? Hope you had a good time. I hope everyone in the chat had a good time.
Yep.
Yeah, on May 22nd, the Better Club, the Better Faction will be also talking, which is Mid-Levolution. It's May 22nd. Tim, I'm just playing around. I just had to. Yeah, no, I've got the Steelbooks and Slipcovers tournament. That's going to be Tuesday. It starts with a lot of these troublemakers will be in that tournament. Then the 16th will be the next one, which is Slipcovers. And then, yeah, on the 22nd, 23rd, and 24th, which is like a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, there's going to be like a 3-night event on my channel. And I guess I can announce it now, but Huck is going to be the next person I have on for the Hall of Fame stream. So I'm really looking forward to that. I love Huck. He's awesome, and I cannot wait to have him on. And I've got a lot planned for him, so it's going to be a long stream. But I'm trying to make it more like an event, so I can put more work into it and not rush it, because each person deserves the same amount of time I put into it for other people.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, James.
Well, I'll be competing in that Steelbook tournament on Bob's channel on Tuesday, so I'm super excited to be a part of that. Got a couple other videos in the works on my channel. So if you haven't checked out my channel, I do lots of premium steelbooks and like special editions. I do a little bit of other things on there too. So look out for that. I got this awesome copy of 2012 CGI galore, so no practical effects. This is a 3-sided lenticular. I've never seen a lenticular on a spine.
Ooh.
So
That's
what is that?
That's for 2012.
Oh,
here, I'll put you full screen.
Yeah. So yeah, for 2012, it's got the lenticular on the spine too. So I've never seen that.
It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, I got a cool video coming out on that.
That plane looks like it's in the air.
Yeah,
like it's floating. That looks good.
So that's what I do a lot. I have an Instagram as well, movies with James on there. But just love talking movies. So this was a lot of fun. Nice meeting a lot of you guys for the first time. And then Tim, always love your work. Thank you for hosting this. So I had a blast.
Thank you so much for being on. Thank you, all of you guys, for saying yes.
Tim, you're the man. You're the best around, Tim.
I
It
don't
was
think
easy.
I thought myself, but I appreciate hearing it. Adam, what you got going on?
Well, let's see. The Hunter. I got a lot of yard work coming up and some laundry. Dinner. Oh, you mean like on YouTube? Yeah. So I'm gonna be doing Bob's. I'm in the actual slipcover tournament, so I think that's the 16th.
Yeah.
I think it's the following Tuesday, so not this one, but the next. So I'll be doing that for the next stream. But on my regular channel, I've been just loving my hunts again. It's good weather out here where I'm at, so pretty much a lot of hunts and hauls. I probably will expand in some other stuff coming in the future, but I've been hot lately, so I don't want to. I'm not stopping until it goes dry. The well is empty, But other than that, yeah, you'll find me also on IG. I know it's confusing because I'm Adam the Movie Hunter here on YouTube, but I Want That Movie on IG. You're going to find tons of reviews on that side and more of the hunts and hauls on the YouTube side. So I do a little of both. I just mix it into two platforms.
Nice.
Find me where you want.
Yo, Adam's been killing it. Seriously, love your channel, man. I watch all your content, and I'm really happy to see your channel growing too, man. You went from 100 to like 370 in a matter of like a month or 2 months. So it's awesome, man.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it myself. I appreciate everybody watching and supporting my channel. I was like surprised myself. It's a little shocking, when that happens. You're like, what? All right, but I love it. So
It's well
thank you
deserved.
guys again.
Well deserved, man. Well deserved. I'm happy to see. I hope you get to 400 soon.
Sometimes all it takes is the algorithm just catching one of your videos just right. That's all it takes sometimes.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Whatever's working.
People,
and when it doesn't work,
Tony and Helen
I just
love
like having fun on here.
The thrift hunts and stuff. You enjoy hunting, and people enjoy watching you hunt. So you got good energy, man.
I get a thrill. I get a rush from doing it.
Yeah.
He'll like tease it with me. He'll message me on Instagram and he'll send me the damn case like this. And he's like, hey, and it's a stack of movies. And he's like, watch the video in 2 days to find out what I got. And I'm like, cut with this shit and just tell me what you got.
All right, Steve, what you got going on?
Yeah, guys, I do a lot of like 4K Blu-ray hauls, a lot of Criterion hauls. Those videos get a lot of views for me. So I love collecting Criterion. So I love horror and love movies in general. So it's new movies, old movies. Whatever it is, I can get into it. It's all great. Just that. And I love doing live streams with people, and this is great. I'm glad Tim invited me to do this one, and love to do more of these. I think I do my best work. I think when I'm kind of riffing off of other people, I think I do great stuff like that, or I have a lot more fun doing that. But I love doing a lot of videos on Criterion hauls for sure. So, but yeah, it's great to meet you guys tonight for sure. Thank you.
Streams are what makes like all of this. I freaking love doing this stuff. If I'm not hosting, I love being on them. They're just so much fun.
Yeah,
I think I told you that.
Get to meet people. It's the most fun.
I was just telling you how much fun it is. Because I'm working all the time, and if I'm, it's fun. I mean, this is hanging out. It's like family. I don't get the chance to do this a whole ton in person out here, so it's a lot of fun to be a part of them.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, Cody, your turn.
Yeah, I'm Cody from Doodoo Loves Movies. One word on Instagram and YouTube. I just started about a couple months ago, and it's been fun. I do have a stream coming up on May 8th over on Side Hustle Cinema's channel. We're celebrating his 1,000 or 1K subscribers. And then I have on May 12th, me and Born to Be Rad are starting a series called Rad Dudes, and our first episode is 90s Ninjas. So all the movies that were kind of brought on because of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So we'll be talking about like Beverly Hills Ninja. We're talking about Double Dragon and stuff like that. Surf Ninjas, of course. And then on the 16th, I have Bob's Blu-rays. I'll be on his channel for his slipcovers tournament, and I'll be also a part of Mega Mike's John Hughes stream next week.
Oh yeah, Mike is really great too.
Yeah.
And it's been great to finally actually meet you, Steve, Adam, and James. This is my first time actually formally meeting you guys. So it's been,
yeah.
It is crazy. It's crazy though how easy people just natural chemistry and click so quickly on streams, because you don't. I mean, there's so many people. Even when you're hosting and you're putting together people you've never met, you don't know if there's going to be that chemistry or connection. It could be really weird and awkward, but it's almost like always natural with 90% of
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, this was a freaking blast. I love this panel. I love this topic, and y'all brought it. Besides some really gory shit that I don't. But
I was about to say, besides Bob.
And Tim, thanks for having me.
Terrifier.
Yes,
I forgot to
thank you, Tim.
Yeah, no, thank you. Honestly,
you so
Tim,
much.
it's a lot of fun, man, and I do appreciate you put together great streams. I don't just say that, to bullshit. Like I mean it. I think 99% of people would agree you're one of the best, if not the best, to do it.
Yeah,
I really appreciate that. For my one stream a month, I do.
That's probably what makes it better. You get the time to put into it too, so you're not rushing it.
Right.
It makes us miss you. And then when you come back, we're like, oh,
right. Leave us wanting more. Leave us wanting more.
We get our dosage of vitamin T over there.
Anyway,
our monthly dosage.
That is our stream, guys. I hope you all had a blast. Check this book out. Look up more about special effects, practical effects, and have a great night, great weekend. Bye, everyone.
Yay, Terrifier.